Good evening, Crabs fans around the world and around the block, listening on the World Wide Web and on the radio. Crabs Baseball is on the air. Benjamin Schaefer along with Aaron Donaldson, and we're excited to bring you all the Rock'em Sock'em baseball action tonight as the Crabs try to sweep the Force during a midweek two-game series. Crabs winning last night by a final score of, I forget what the score was last night, 8-1, I think.
I have 9-1 here.
9-1.
Yeah, the
That's
Crabs
right.
got started early, 3 runs in the first inning, and they kept the pressure on late.
I just never looked back
scoring
last
in the
night.
7th and the 8th.
Yeah.
The 6th, 7th, and 8th, it looks like. 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th,
That's right.
3 in the 8th. Looks like Miles Oliver threw another really great game last night.
Oliver was great last night. Yeah.
When the Crabs pitching shows up, this team is hard to beat. It is 59 degrees here in the ballpark. We were debating whether it feels more like October baseball or summer ball. Knit hats, down jackets, and blankets here on the coast. Love to see it. I know you're a lizard.
In the summer, middle of July, we're in, I had the heater on at my house.
Yeah, Benjamin's not happy. I am thrilled. I can read you the starting lineup for the opposing Force, if you like. It's brought to you by Compass Community Credit Union and North Coast Co-op. Batting leadoff for the Fourth is shortstop Isaiah Manji. Batting second is the third baseman Malose Now Teote. The right fielder bats third. That's Blake King. The first baseman bats fourth, Owen Wilbur. Dylan Brandenburg, the designated hitter, bats fifth. Thomas Bolden, the center fielder, bats sixth. John Paul Avila, the left fielder, bats seventh. Andy Mack, the catcher, bats eighth. Dylan Shao plays second base for the Force, bats ninth. Noah Hano will be on the pitcher throwing at these Crabs at the bottom of the inning.
Okay, for our Crabs, Jacob Pappas in center field leads it off. Nolan Hamilton bats second in left field. Tyler Howard in right field bats third. Tate Metcalf will bat cleanup at first base. Liam Forsythe will catch and bat fifth. Spencer Moss will be the DH and bats sixth. Caden Lee at third base bats seventh. Parker Rogers at second base bats eighth. Michael Prazo out at shortstop bats ninth. And on the mound, it's Brock Lenhart. And we have some numbers on Brock, I'm sure.
We do. 13.1 innings pitched, 19 strikeouts, 5 walks, 6 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned in that time. This is the first time I've gotten to see the Crabs play with their tie-dye jerseys. These are
cool,
awesome.
Huh? Yeah,
they are
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
They're blue and pink. They got the blue C hat on
a little
today
bit of purple
with
in
the
there.
white pants, a little purple in there. Just great for the coast. Real moody, real colorful. Love it.
Very trippy.
Yeah.
Line shot foul by Manji.
We are
over
underway.
third base bag.
7:07 first pitch here at the Arcata Ballpark. The Force are wearing blue tops with orange letters and font on the front and trim. White pants. I like the blue and orange. Y'all were commenting on that last night. It's a good look. Yeah.
Yeah. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. High and inside. My whole house is painted blue and orange.
There you go. So you're a Force fan. You're just that committed.
That's right. The Force. They were the Seals. I guess they're the Force knee Seals.
Yes. Or the Seals. The Force brought to you by the Seals.
Formerly known as the Seal. The team formerly known as the Seals. And there's another breaking pitch inside. 1-1 now to Noteote. To Manji. Manji in last night's game was 1 for 5.
It's been cloudy all day today here.
Yep. Next pitch misses inside, 2-1. It came out for a little bit in Eureka, around 1 o'clock. But a little bit sunny for about 5 minutes.
There was sun on the hammock for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I ran out there and sat in it, and then it went away.
3-1 the count. And the pitch. Popped high in the air on the left side. Lee is there. He's got it for out number 1.
I was talking to Liam about the depths of the Crabs this year. They've got a lot of hitters. Some of their top hitters.
They do.
Yeah. Morris is not playing tonight. Enyart is not playing tonight. Sewell is not playing tonight. But when you look at the hitters that we do have that are playing tonight, there's some threatening bats that you do not.
Oh, yeah. We have Howard, Metcalf,
Yep.
and Moss when he's hot.
Yep. There's some real good hitters.
Here's the pitch.
And that's in addition to the top lumber that the Crabs have had all year.
Taken for a strike on the outside corner now to Noteote. Noteote last night was 1 for 4.
Crabs are 31-5 on the season.
Next pitch in the air to right field. Howard is there. 2 away. Let me give you the defense for the Crabs. It's an unusual defensive arrangement for the Crabs. It's Lenhart on the mound. Liam Forsythe is catching. Metcalf at first. Parker Rogers at second. Not really unusual. Michael Perazzo at short. Caden Lee at third. Nolan Hamilton in left. Jacob Pappas in center. And Tyler Howard in right. It's just not, as you said, it's not there. Enart's not in the lineup tonight. And neither is Sewell.
Prune Packers
neither
coming
is
to town this weekend.
And neither is Morris.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch. Fastball high and inside. 1-0 now to King. Yeah, I think they're giving those guys a rest for that big series coming up on Friday.
Yes. We will talk more about that series during this game. Very exciting baseball this weekend here in Arcata.
The 1-0 line and down left field line. That's going to drop for at least one base. And big turn. He's going for 2. Here comes the throw, and it gets away. So that's a double for King.
Well, Parker Rogers might have had a chance.
He might
kind
have
of misplayed the bounce there, and it hit him in the wrist and went past him. But if he was able to glove that and make a shot at it, he could have made the tag. Close call. 2-out hit for the Force.
So King out at second, and here's Wilbur. Wilberg left last night was 1 for 4. Lenhart sets at the belt. Look at second. Here's the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. Do we know who the umpires are tonight?
We do. Yeah, Zach Norton is at first base. We know that. And where did I write it down? Harvey Maxey is at home plate, and we didn't figure out third base. Lucas Ivanovich at third. Thank you.
Okay,
Liam.
so the latter two I have not seen in this ballpark, have we? Are they new?
That's where I wrote it. I wrote it on the fielding chart.
So 0-2 now the count to Wilberg. King on at second. Just getting started. Lights are already on at the ballpark. And that's fouled up against screen. Heavy overcast here. You can see up on the hill. It's clear if you're just looking at that little saddle.
Right in that little
that
corner.
saddle that's
Yeah.
kind of up where the Neyland Airport is. It's clear up there, but here on the coast, it's a thick overcast. And the wind blowing gently out towards left center field.
Cool breeze, like chilly breeze.
Yeah, in the high 50s, I think.
Smells like the ocean. I love that.
The 0-2. Mounted in near left field. Coming in on it is Hamilton. It's going to drop. That's going to score a run. Here comes the throw, not in time, and the runner's going to take second on the throw.
Yeah, I don't think that Noah Hamilton could have made a better break on that. That ball was just placed right there in short right field. The runner tagged up and made it across home plate.
So King scores. 1-0 now in favor of the Force. Wilberg at first. Here's Brandenburg. He's the DH. I think he did not play last. Oh, he came in as a pinch hitter last night in the 9th inning and singled. So run in for the Force here, a 2-out rally. A double and a single, and here's Brandenburg. And that's a fastball in there for a strike, belt high on the outside corner. The 0-1. And he swings, and did he get a piece of it? No, that just gets away from Forsythe and heads up to first baseline, and that's going to allow Wilberg to go to third.
Pass ball, wild pitch.
That's a pass ball.
If you're joining us on YouTube, there's a green co-op sign and a green highway sign that you can see in left field. Just past that is that little patch of clear sky that Benjamin's talking about. That is about all of the sky that you can see from the ballpark. It is gray. A silver Humboldt evening, I call it.
And now ball got away, it looks like, from the bullpen.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be interruption in the game.
They got a spare. They should throw them both at once. It's like in pinball when you get the multi-ball.
That would make the game interesting, wouldn't it?
Splitter could be 2 balls at once going different directions. Let's see it.
The 0-2. Swung on and
Big
missed,
swing.
blew a fastball by him, and that ends the inning. But the Force get a run on a couple of hits. There were no errors and a runner left, and at the end of half an inning, it's the Force 1. The Crabs are coming up. This is exciting. Crabs Baseball 107.3 FM. Welcome back to the ballpark. Crabs in the bottom of the first inning will be Pappas, Hamilton, and Howard to lead it off, trailing 1-0. Thanks to Big Blue Cafe. Visit the Crabs' favorite Big Blue Cafe on the plaza in Arcata, serving breakfast and lunch all day. Welcome home to the Big Blue. Also, Baywood Golf and Country Club and Crestmark Millwork, a local manufacturer of custom cabinetry and millwork for commercial projects throughout California and Oregon, creating signature elements of extraordinary spaces. Since 1997, Crestmark is committed to promoting a healthy and productive society by investing in the relationship with their employees, local communities, suppliers, and customers.
1-0 deficit for the Crabs to overcome here. There was a 2-out rally at the top of the first. Here's
Pappas
trying to set the Crabs right.
coming in third on the team in batting average. He hasn't played as many games as Sewell or Enyart, who are 1 and 2, but he comes in batting .338 in 18 games. He takes a fastball low and outside from Noah Hano. He has a home run. He's got 12 RBIs. Hano rocks, and there's a fastball high. So it's Hano on the mound. Mack is catching. Wilbur at first. Dylan Chow at second. Isaiah Monji at shortstop. Malosi.
Now Teote.
Now Teote at third base. J.P. Avila in center. Thomas Bolden in center. J.P. Avila in left. Thomas Bolden in center. And Blake King in right. 3-0 the count. And that's high, and Pappas takes the walk. Some of those names are challenging.
You are reading my
pronounce
handwriting.
on
You
top
are
of having to read other people's
my
handwriting. Yeah.
My handwriting.
Well, it's better than Liam's, which is completely illegible.
I heard y'all talking about the quality of the handwriting, and here I'm going to call this a meaningless distinction. From what I hear of Liam's handwriting, being better than it is...
It might as well just be hieroglyphics, or, you just give a chicken a pen and have it.
If I know someone else is going to read it, I write a little more legibly. I had no idea, and you did great. Nice job.
There's a pitch right down the middle to Hamilton, 0-1. So Pappas over at first, nobody out.
In debate, you have to read your partner's handwriting sometimes, and that can end partnerships.
I bet. The 0-1 misses high and outside. This is why I never give any in-class assignments.
Yeah.
Because I can't read their writing.
It's not easy.
1-1 the count. Hit high and foul out on F Street. That's gonna, it almost just missed a car parked out on F Street. I can see that from here.
Tonight is Food for People night at the ballpark. The staff of Humboldt County's Food Bank are up here in the Arcata ballpark with their families tonight. Want to welcome all of them. Food for People serves 21,000 people a month all over Humboldt County. That's 15% of our neighbors.
Runner goes, ground ball to third. He won't have a play at second, but he will have a play at first. Good job by Pappas to avoid the double play.
Yeah, that was just a fortuitous break for the Crabs there. If he didn't take off when he did, that would definitely have been a double play ball. Instead, it's 1 out with a Crabby on second. And that went 5-3.
That's correct. It is the food bank, one of the best things you can contribute to in this community.
Yeah, you were saying you did some of that
I
volunteering.
did a few years ago, or several years ago. Before COVID, I was volunteering there. I really enjoyed it. And there's a slider low and outside. Well, and Hoke and I were volunteering there. Hoke was a long-time volunteer.
They provide food for more than 5,000 children every month through pantries and programs like Backpacks for Kids. 2.4 million pounds of food last year. Wow.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Their building burned down, you'll recall, several years ago. And total disaster. And then they had to move. And they had some, temporary quarters for a while. But now they've rebuilt the site. They've put a new building on the site. And it looks great. The 1-1 is a strike on the outside corner.
Foodforpeople.org is where you can go to find out about food distribution locations, how to volunteer or donate. We'll say it again, but it's foodforpeople.org.
They deserve a night at the ballpark, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The 1-2 misses low and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner out at second, 1 out. Crabs trailing 1-0, just getting started.
Hard to find things you can do with people that you work with. Baseball's a great way.
It is. That's it high in the air and deep to left
Come on,
field.
keep
Going
going, keep
back,
going.
still going back, and it's going to be caught in deep left center by Bolden on the run. That was a long run for Bolden, and he kind of made it look easy.
That was a long run. It was heading towards the 394 sign, but it came down well short of the warning track out there. Just loud contact from Tyler Howard. Everybody really wanted a big hit. But now the Crabs are looking for their own 2-out rally here.
So here's Tate Metcalf. Metcalf batting .239. He has 3 home runs. Here's the pitch in the dirt. I think he homered last night, didn't he? I'm pretty sure that he did. He homered in the first inning last night. And it was a no-doubter.
Sounds like a great idea.
Want to know the count. Papa's still out at second. Here's the pitch. Low.
If he does the same thing tonight, he will give the Crabs the lead.
Two balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Slider away. Good take, 1-2. 1-2 fast. Sorry, 2-1. I guess that's called a strike. So it's. I guess it's 3-1 now.
It was inside or outside.
And that's broken bat, and the bat went all the way out to shortstop.
Wow.
The ball went past the third base coaching box.
Wow.
And that bat just shattered, and that huge splinter, the whole barrel end of the bat flew all the way out to shortstop.
Jacob Pappas was watching it fly and literally trying to decide if he had to tag up or dodge the bat,
what you do, yeah.
or get ready to break. Like, that was kind of a tough
The
spot.
ball went
right
one
there.
way and the bat went the other.
A shard of the baseball bat, literally out to where the shortstop is now.
And so how is he out, though? They're calling.
They called that out. Did he catch
Well.
it? I guess we were all watching the.
What happened? Oh, he's not out. Oh, okay, he's not out. All right.
The runner goes.
There's a pitch, and it's ball 4. Okay, I thought
there
they
you
put another batter up there. They didn't.
I wasn't watching the ball either.
Okay. So on the pitch, Pappas went to third, so that's a stolen base for Pappas, and that puts runners on the corners with 2 outs for Liam Forsyth. Forsyth comes in batting exactly .300. 13 RBIs, 6 doubles, 5 doubles. Chance here with runners on the corners and 2 outs. And here's a fastball taken for a strike on the outside corner.
I've never seen a piece of the bat go that far.
I never have either. That was. And that fastball misses way outside, 1-1. That, he was all that was left was just the handle.
Right.
Like about 4 inches of the handle.
Well, and
the rest of the bat.
I just saw Pappas out there just watching the piece come towards him
Yeah,
in the sky.
yeah.
It's like
It really got some
saw a
elevation
UFO
too.
out there.
Yeah.
It was way up there. Look out.
The 1-1 hit hard but foul, wide of third.
This is a big chance for the Crabs. Got to at least draw even here.
1-2 to Forsyth. Sutter Moss on deck. Another big crowd tonight.
Yeah.
Place
really
is
good
full. Look
turnout.
at this. I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the food for people folks being
Sure.
here.
And we're getting some like fresh cookie smell coming or something. What is that? Gosh, smells amazing.
The 1-2 swung on and missed, inning over. For the Crabs, no runs, there were no hits, there were no errors, and 2 left. And then 1, they trail 1-0. This is exciting Crabs baseball, 107.3 FM. Welcome back to the ballpark. Bolden, Avila, and Mack to bat for the Force here in the top of the second. They lead at 1-0. Thanks to Cypress Grove Cheese, the leading producer of delicious artisan goat cheese, including Humboldt Fog, one of the most famous cheeses in the country, proudly based in Arcata. Cypress Grove cheeses are available at cheese shops and grocery stores nationwide and online at cypressgrovecheese.com. There's nothing like that Humboldt Fog feeling.
Crabs fans, you do not want to miss baseball at the Arcata Ballpark this weekend. The Healdsburg Prune Packers are coming to town. They have a 15-3 record and sit atop the Pacific Empire League, just a half game ahead of your Humboldt Crabs. If the Crabs could find a way to sweep that series,
Absolutely.
they could take sole possession of first place in the Pacific Empire League with just the Rogues coming to town, which means they could be hosting a Pacific Empire League Championship Series game here at the ballpark. Very exciting. Even if they could win one of those games, they should have a great shot at playing in that game no matter where it's held. That's all happening this weekend here at the ballpark.
Huge series. Here's
Huge.
Bolden. And first pitch is high, 1-0.
I've said it on the air that I'm kind of like dreading it. The Prune Packers are good, and they can beat the Crabs, but we can beat them. We've seen it.
1-0, grounded out to third. Throw to first, 1 away.
Crabs took one of those games at Healdsburg during their road trip this year.
I mean, the Mudcats beat them.
The Mudcats beat them.
You know,
Love
they
that.
can be beaten.
It can be done. The question is, can you do it
Here's
enough
Avila.
to win a series?
And the Crabs are going to have home field advantage this weekend.
Yeah.
They didn't have that.
They did not.
The first series. So
Although we've dropped games that we could have won too. I'm
That's
looking at
true.
the last game I called against the West Coast Kings and a couple others. Maybe that got away from us, including some at Lincoln.
here's the pitch. That's hit high in the air and foul. That's going to make it out into the
Big
bus
is
station.
still up there.
Avila really got under that.
That one made the freeway.
Did it?
Yep. Southbound.
So that is a loud, long strike. I see a lot of the Force players share that green and gold bat, which is super cool. And that pitch misses high and outside. And, you know, the other thing, too, is the Crabs have changed their roster since they played.
Yes.
They've added some players. The 1-1 fouled up against the screen. They've added a couple pitchers.
It will be up to the
They've
pitchers.
stabilized the pitching force.
That's
the
it.
pitching
The Prune
staff a little
Packers
bit, right?
are not
I
the
mean,
kind of team that
they're
you
not.
can get behind with pitching.
But we've
They
added
will
some,
punish you for
yeah.
missing
But
on the
you know,
mound.
we brought Cameron Sasso back since we played that. You know, I think the Crabs have a good chance.
And they have the pitchers.
The 1-2 swung on and missed.
Nice.
Great pitch. So I have a lot of confidence in this team, actually.
I do too.
Here's Mac.
And there's been some good starting pitcher. We saw that from Oliver. Standish has been great. As you said, they brought Sasso back. They have an opportunity to do something really exciting this weekend.
Mac was 0 for 3 last night, and he cues that one foul up against the backstop. 2 outs, nobody on, top of the second inning. The Force have a 1-run lead.
If you like offense, it should be a good game. Both teams can hit the ball. Crabs have lost 2 games at home this year.
The 0-1. Called strike on the outside corner. A little bit wide according to the TrackMan, but
We'll take it.
close pitch.
It's good to see Lenhart getting in front of folks here.
Absolutely. Lenhart sets and deals 0-2. And he just got a piece of it and fouls it up against the backstop. So
Got him reaching now
Mac
at
will
those
see
outside.
another pitch.
Yeah. I'd keep pitching him out there. He's calling them strikes, and now the batter's reaching.
It's true. It's not as wide a strike zone as we've seen, but it is a slightly expanded strike zone.
We saw a spot chart from last night that was positively mystifying.
The 0-2. And that's hit in the air to shallow right field. Howard's there. And that ends the inning. So the Force go 1-2-3 in the second. They lead 1-0. This is exciting Crabs baseball. 107.3 FM. We're back. Thanks to Charleston Tree Services, here to help you with your growing concerns. Their locally owned and operated family business has served homeowners and commercial property owners throughout Humboldt County since 2007. Moss, Lee, and Rogers to bat for the Crabs. Bottom of the second inning, trailing 1-0.
Prune Packers leading the Medford Rogues 8-2 right now in Healdsburg.
Did the Rogues beat them last night?
I don't think so.
Do we have the score from last night?
I
They
can't
were ahead
find-
briefly, and I think the Prune Packers came back.
Yeah. Yeah, the Prune Packers won last night 17-3.
Oh, ouch. Ow.
That's a lot to a little.
It
The
was
Prune
a-
Packers have a lot of double
I
digit
think that
wins.
I think Medford had a couple-run lead early, and apparently that evaporated.
There's like 10 games here where they're scoring double digits, 11,
Oh,
12,
yeah.
13. Yeah, a
They
lot of
just beat
offense.
up poor pitching, so that's like you said, that's going to be the key. Can the Crabs pitching show up?
If they don't, it could be tragic.
It could be pretty ugly. First pitch to Moss misses low and inside, and second pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Noah Hano still out on the mound for the Force.
The Crabs have been good enough even to overcome spotty pitching.
It's true.
But with the Prune Packers, they've got some pretty good pitchers. So
1-1 is sliced foul over towards the right field picnic area. Yeah, I mean, that's because the teams that they were playing had worse pitching.
right.
So that's not going to happen this weekend. The 1-2. High and outside.
Be interesting to see who Robin Guyver puts out there to pitch this weekend. Who would you throw out first? Standish?
You're obviously going to see Standish.
Yeah.
2-2. He's hit high in the air to left field. Avila going back, still going back at the warning track, and he makes the catch. And Moss gave that a ride, but it's just an out.
It was a high strike thrown at
Blown
86 and 84 off the bat, way out there to left field.
And there's really not much breeze. I don't know if he got it high enough to catch the breeze. You know, the flags over the courthouse are waving, but the one in center field, which is a slightly lower elevation, is not. So if you can get it up in that breeze, it'll carry. So here's Caden Lee. And the pitch to Lee is inside. Lee batting .283. Three doubles. He has a home run and a big cut there. 1-1.
86-mile-an-hour fastball right in the strike zone there from Hano.
Hano deals, and that's fouled up against the screen.
Both pitchers throwing a lot of strikes right away, just coming right at the batters.
Yeah, it's great to see that.
That's how it's supposed to be done.
That is how it's supposed to be done. 1-2 the count. One-two misses low.
70 on that off change pitch. He's got this like, kind of like
Yeah,
dropping.
it's a change. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and there's a fastball high.
Back to
And the count
87.
goes full.
Little yo-yo there. 17-mile-an-hour difference. Don't blink.
3-2. And that's called strike 3. Yikes.
Whoa,
That was about a
whoa.
foot inside. Lee tossed the bat aside. He was headed to first, but he is rung up, and
So bad.
that was a terrible call. I mean,
What?
that was about a foot or 2 inside.
Harvey Maxey just getting all sorts of feedback from the cheerful Arcata crowd here. That was not a strike, and it ends up as a strike out. Second out of the Crabs.
Here's Parker Rogers,
Tough break.
and there's a pitch in the dirt.
That's tough for Caden Lee. You need to take that pitch all day, every day, and to strike out on something like that is just, it's a raw deal.
Terrible.
Doing your job up there.
The
That's all you can
1-0.
do. Can't swing at that pitch.
Fastball misses outside, 2-0. I mean, yeah, you can't. That's why it's not. That's why it's considered a ball,
Right.
according to the track man, because it's not a hittable pitch. The next pitch is a strike on the inside corner. You know, in theory,
That is
it
what the
should be
box
that
is
a strike
for,
is a
yeah.
pitch that you could hit in principle. You know,
That is how that is supposed to work, yes.
2-1 misses outside. 3-1. You know, it's reasonable to expect that you could lay the bat on it. A 3-1 misses away, ball 4. So Rogers does draw the walk.
17th walk of the season for the second baseman.
And here's Michael Perazzo.
Now batting for the Crabs from Sacramento State, number 15, Michael Perazzo.
Perazzo's batting average on a steady incline. He's up to 266 now.
Here's one of those hitters that I do think you better respect as a pitcher. He may not be statistically one of the Crab leaders, but he's come through in big moments.
Well, he can lay down a bunt, too. I mean, he's a great bunter. Here's the pitch, and it's in the dirt. I don't know. He's had some key sacrifice bunts. I remember in that rally in the first game in Medford when the Crabs came back down 4 runs. He laid down a beautiful sacrifice bunt that really was key to that rally. Next pitch misses high. 2-0.
I can't remember who they were playing, but he had a big hit down the third baseline that won the game late.
Mm-hmm. The 2-0. In the air to shallow right center field. Second baseman going out. And he's got it. 4 out, number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. A runner left for the Crabs at the end of the second, and they trail 1-0. This is exciting Crabs baseball, 107.3 FM. Welcome back to the ballpark. Crabs trailing 1-0 in the top of the third inning. It'll be the top of the order for the Force. Manji, Noah Teote, now Teote, and King. Brock Lenhart out for his third inning work.
It's their 9-hitter right now.
Oh, sorry, this is Shao. So it's Shao, Manji, and now Teote.
Very cool to see. What was it? Elijah McNeil got drafted by
he
the
did.
Giants?
Yes, indeed, he
20th
did.
round?
Yeah,
Very exciting.
that's great. Great news.
Crabbies get drafted from time to time, but it's pretty rare.
Always happy to see it.
Very cool.
Here's the pitch.
By a
Line
hometown
outside, 1-0. And I can see why, too, because
Yeah, hometown.
just as smooth as he is at shortstop and as athletic as he is,
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me that he got drafted. The 1-0. Hit hard on the ground over to first. Metcalf will take it to the bag himself, 1 away.
Yeah, he's made some absolutely great plays at shortstop for the Crabs this year.
Yeah, he has.
Another name on that list of Crabs hitters that may not be the, statistically the ones that you're looking at, but you don't want to sleep on.
Here's Manji. He popped out to third in his first at bat. And the pitch. Change. Swung on and missed up in the zone. Good pitch.
Big chop at that one, way above
It was way high.
the strike zone.
But, pitch at your eyes like that, really hard to lay off.
Yeah, lights up.
It just looks like, it's being served right up.
If it's off speed or drops, it's right where you want it.
The 0-1. And he fouls that one into the seats. Off the judo hut. Or off the concession hut there.
There's a fellow with a glove, and he even stood up. He was ready. Didn't come near him, but he was
Didn't come
ready.
near him, though. Yeah. 0-2 the count.
Friends, once again, we want to welcome Food for People. They provide food for more than 5,000 children every month through pantries and programs like Backpacks for Kids.
Got the umpire visiting the mound now.
Food for People for being here today.
Not sure what's going on. Maybe baseball they don't like.
So 0-2 to Manji. Lenhart sets. And comes home. High bounder over to third. Backing up a couple steps and making the catch. Throw to first is Caden Lee. Nicely done, 2 away. That was a tough play for Lee. That ball took a high hop, and he had to wait for it to come down. And a one-hop throw to first just in time to get Manji.
Yeah, the hop really took a lot of the opportunity that he would have to take a beat before he threw that ball. It was catch and fire, and he was on target.
2 away. Here's now Teote.
That little area that used to have sun now has like a little pile of clouds in it.
Yep.
You see that?
They've just moved right in.
Literally.
It's fouled out of play.
There's like more clouds under the clouds that you can
Yeah,
see in the
yeah.
distance. It's clouds on top of clouds.
0-1 the count. Now Teote fly to right in his first at bat. And there's a pitch that rides high, 1-1.
Yeah, it's Joni Mitchell that's looked at clouds from both sides now.
That is Joni.
Must have come to North Coast. You see them from above when you land, and you see them from below the whole time that you're here.
If you land,
If.
you may not land. 1-1 the count.
Yeah.
Fouled out of play.
They might take you to Medford. That can happen.
Or fly you to Reading or
Yeah. Reading, Medford, Sacramento, San Francisco.
back to San Francisco.
And if it's weather related, they don't owe you a hotel.
No, they don't.
So, plan accordingly.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Tapped out past the mound.
Tough
Tough play. Lee's going to
Oh,
bare
boy.
hand
Yeah.
and no play. And he throws it away.
Yeah.
And what in the world was he thinking throwing that ball? There was absolutely no chance to get the runner. The runner was at first when he threw it, and that is a single and an error.
Yeah, that's tough. He made a great play last time, and I think he was just trying to go for the 2 for here
The
to
guy
get
was
out of
on
the
first
inning,
when he
but
threw it.
He had no chance. Hopefully, that's as bad as it gets.
Here's Blake King. I mean, unless somehow time ran backwards on that play, there was no way he was going to get the guy.
I don't think it does that, Benjamin.
Because he was already on first.
You were telling me the philosophy of baseball is timelessness, so that sounds like it doesn't work.
So here's King. He doubled his first at bat. He's got a runner out at second. They're leading 1-0. And fastball was high. That was a good fastball. Had a nice snap to it when it hit the catcher's mitt.
Not many people get to talk baseball with a philosophy professor. We're learning a lot in between innings here in the booth.
The 1-0.
Oh, dear.
Line down left field line, but foul into the Crabs bullpen.
Boy, that was well into the bullpen, but when he hit it, I thought it was trouble.
Just got out in front of it. 1-1 to count. And the pitch. Fastball is high. That was a good take by King. That was a close pitch.
That was a tough take right there, yeah.
2-1. There's a grounder up the middle, and that's going to trickle through. Here comes now Teote to score, and it's 2-0 in favor of the Force. RBI single for King. That's his second hit of the evening.
Boy, Brock Lenhart would have had to pull a Jedi move to grab that ball. He definitely had a chance to reach for it with his bare hand, but there was no way he was going to make that grab. Just a little bouncer right past the pitcher. Doubling up are the Force.
So 2-0 now. And here's Wilberg. He singled his first at bat, and the error now looms large because that turned out to be costly.
2 out rallies for the Force. Troublesome tonight.
Cost the Crabs a run, that error. Swung on and missed, 0-1.
Yeah, it did. Bats are going to have to get busy.
I fully expect that to happen.
I do too.
Fouled out of play, 1-1. It's a typical Crabs game. They're behind early.
Yeah.
Middle of the game, they start putting some runs on the board. By the end of the game,
Big lead.
they have a
Crabs
big
win.
lead,
Everybody home happy?
Not always, but
Right.
and you can't count on it, but it does seem to be the pattern this year. The 0-2 is high. So 1-2 now to Wilberg. Bradenberg on deck.
Saturday, July 19th is pajama night here at the ballpark, or as we refer to it in Humboldt County, it's just Saturday.
Yeah, right.
Where oh yeah,
Oh,
fireworks.
and fireworks on Saturday.
Well,
yeah.
if the clouds are like this, we'll see. But
Yeah. No. See, that's why.
could just be brightly colored,
Which
loud
misses-
clouds.
2 and 2.
Benjamin has thoughts on this. We talked about it for the 4th of July.
I remember in the past we had fireworks on the 4th of July. We used to always have fireworks,
Yeah.
and then
It's a good idea.
it just became too unpredictable in terms of the
Yeah.
weather. The next pitch is
Oh.
ball just low,
Boy.
but right at the edge of the strike zone. So
Boy.
the count goes full now to Wilberg.
Punching out Krabbies when they're way outside, and Lenhart is walking off, hoping that's strike 3 and just not getting the call that he needs. Could have been a strike, should have been a strike.
And the runner goes. The pitch is fouled out of play.
That foul ball is sponsored by Baby Golf from Country Club.
So we'll do it again with the count full and King over at first. He's got a big lead over there, and they're not holding him. Medikoff
Yeah, he's way off.
is off the bag. He's going. The 3-2. Called. Strike 3. Happy trails, and that'll do it as Wilberg strikes out to end the inning. But the Force get another run on a hit. There was an error and a runner left, and at the end of 2.5, they lead 2-0. This is exciting Crabs baseball. 107.3 FM. we are back.
And we're paying attention.
Thanks to Compass Community Credit Union. Hey, Crabs fans, Compass Community Credit Union is happy to point you toward a better banking experience. Visit their conveniently located branches in Arcata and Eureka or online at compassccu.org. That's compassccu.org. And also the North Coast Co-op and the North Coast Mercantile.
There you go.
Family owned and operated, serving Humboldt County since 1951. North Coast Mercantile brings you a fantastic assortment of domestic, import, and craft beers, as well as wine, spirits, non-alcoholic beverages, and snacks. Check out the North Coast Mercantile's Titus trailer in the right field beer garden in the Arcata Ballpark, where they have 8 taps featuring local microbrews, wine, and cider. Pappas leads it off for the Crabs in the bottom of the third, trailing 2-0. He walked his first appearance. Hano deals, and there's a strike
Just
about a foot outside. This is
I
looking
don't
like
know.
a lot more like the strike zone from last night now than it did earlier.
that was pretty wild.
The 0-1.
How
And
about
maybe
that
some
one?
kind of template that they're all internalizing. You know how when you watch the Terminator movies and it shows it from a Terminator's point of view, and he's got like that weird template going on. The 1-1. Right. This is outside 2-2. You know.
Ball's way over here and it goes strike.
Yeah, yeah. And so they're just all programmed with the same
Yeah. Yep.
2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, 2-2.
You can't be too against robo-umps if it's already the Terminator robo-ump,
That's
Benjamin. Come on. It's already what's going on down there.
2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside
Just
corner,
absolute
about a foot and a half, 2
absurdity.
feet off the plate, and Pappas can't believe it. He just looks at the umpire and shakes his
Just-
head. And the Crabs are not making. I mean, the batters
No.
are not making it up. These are absurd
No.
calls.
That was way out. That was a
One
hole.
away.
There's you know, 9 little boxes inside the strike zone, and that was a whole box and a bit outside the strike zone.
Here's
Not
Hamilton,
fair.
and he takes a fastball high and inside.
Crabs batters doing their part, staying tight, looking at those pitches like they're supposed to, just getting punished for it. Ruthless.
The 1-0. And he lines
There we
out in
go.
the center
Get down.
field, and a nice diving catch, a sliding catch by Blake King out there on a ball that was dying right in front of him, and he went down and got it. Good play, 2 away.
That absolutely looked like it was going to be
Sure did.
a little bit of
base
business
hit written
here.
all over it. Yeah.
Yep, and he was a little short. He broke right away, got down on one knee, was able to get the glove under it. Really good play by the right fielder.
And here's Tyler Howard. That was a tough play because he couldn't even really turn his wrist to get the glove in proper position. He almost had to. He had to kind of grab the ball.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch now to Howard. He takes high.
And just broke immediately on it. Did not have much time. Those line drives. Got to be ready.
The 1-0 in the dirt. 1-1 to count. Take Metcalf on deck if Howard can get aboard. Here's the 2-0. And that's a strike on the inside corner.
It was not, though. Liam has feedback.
2-1. Here's the pitch. And
Blessedly called
that
the ball.
just missed high and called a ball.
There's like a standard deviation error here. It's like the further outside it is, the more likely
That's
it is
right.
to be called a strike.
The 3-1 is high, and somehow Howard draws a walk.
Right. That's what you want to see. It gets tempting as hitters to start reaching
That's
and
right,
trying
yeah.
to make it
No,
happen.
we just
But you've got to stay at
gotta
home.
stick with what you. Yeah.
Again,
what
if
you
it's
know.
not in the strike zone, it's not supposed to be hittable. So just
Can't start playing that game. We try to anticipate.
right.
So here's Metcalf. He walked his first appearance. That is the 4th walk issued by Hano Hano.
It's been 2 out rallies for the Force, both innings that they've scored.
And
Crabs
here's a
got to respond.
change that misses outside.
Force plated 1 in the first and 1 in the third. Crabs scoreless so far.
The 1-0. That missed high. 2-0. Yeah, I think they just take the SIM card out of one umpire and stick it in the next one. And, you know.
They're running on floppy disks, though, Benjamin.
It's just it's a 2-0. Runner goes. It's inside. The throw down the second is not in time. And a nice leap by Dylan Chow to prevent the ball from going to the center field, but he falls down over Howard.
Big
Everybody's
collision
okay.
there, yeah. Glad to see everybody okay. The shortstop had to go up to get that ball to keep it from heading out into the outfield.
Oh, right. That was Manji, actually.
Oh, was that who that was? Yeah,
I
Tyler
think you're right.
Howard
It was the
was
shortstop, yeah.
selling out to get in there, doing his job to get on second. In scoring position now.
2-1 to Metcalf.
Tate's got an opportunity to cut this lead.
Here's the pitch.
Don't.
Breaking pitch.
Don't.
Strike right. That was a good pitch.
That's a pretty good pitch.
Right at the
I
edge of
didn't
the
want it.
zone.
I didn't want it.
Right at the top right edge of the zone.
He's been calling him worse than that. So
That was not a bad one. 2-2 the count.
just looked out there.
2 outs. Here's the pitch. Oh, and he waves at a slider away, and that ends the inning. For the Crabs, no runs, no hits, no errors, a runner left, and at the end of 3, they trail 2-0. Stay tuned. Aaron will be bringing you the middle innings. This is exciting Crabs baseball, 107.3 FM. All right, welcome back. It'll be Bradenburg, Bolden, and Avila to bat in the top of the fourth with the Force leading 2-0. And here's Aaron.
Thanks, Benjamin. It is 2-0. The Force plated a runner in the first and a runner in the third. The Crabs have had a couple of runners in scoring position but have not been able to respond. It's been 2 out rallies for the Force, so it's not like it's been a ton of offense. And the Crabs typically have had a lot of offense throughout the year. It's just a question of if it's going to show up tonight, and if so, when.
Well, usually it sometimes shows up a little late in the game, and
right.
I wouldn't be surprised tonight. You know, their pitcher is pitching very well.
He is.
And often it takes us getting into their bullpen before we score some runs, before the Crabs score some runs. So.
Crabs won 9-1 last night, and they scored in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. So the only difference there is they plated 3 in the first, which is what you'd like to see. So this will bring up, let me see if I can get on the right page here. This is going to bring up Brandenburg, Dylan Brandenburg, the designated hitter. He struck out in the first. And Brock Lenhart's still out there pitching for the Crabs. Here's the first pitch. That's fouled back, 0-1. Prune Packers in town this weekend. That's a team that you cannot wait to put runners on base and plate some runs against. The Force, you feel like they can catch. So Lenhart gets what he wants, and here's the pitch. That's swung on and fouled out towards right field. He is running, and that drops just in play. I thought for sure that was going to be fouled. He slides into second base, and they gunned him down. That was an outstanding throw by Tyler Howard. He was sprinting hard over towards the foul baseline to make that catch, and it just dropped right in front of him. He picked it up, fired to second, and caught the runner out. Absolutely outstanding throw by the right fielder there.
I mean, yeah, if you're Bradenburg, you're thinking double all the way on that because it just died down the right field line.
Absolutely, and it would take a real serious throw to get you out, and that's what he got. This one's high for ball 1 against Thomas Bolden, the center fielder for the Force. Bolden was out 6-3 in the second. Crabs need a quiet inning here. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled straight up and back. This one could have a chance for the catcher, and he's got it. Liam Forsyth right up against the fence there. Humboldt fans right in his face cheering him on. Big catch, 2 outs.
That is a big out.
That's not easy for a catcher. Like they're home fans, and they're not trying to screw you up, but they're pumped. They want to see
and the other thing too is the fence makes it hard because there was a play last night where the ball was right along the fence, and the catcher really couldn't get his mitt in position to make the catch.
So John Paul Avila steps up now. Lenhart's going to try to make this a 1-2-3 inning. Lenhart gets the signal he wants at the belt. Here's the pitch. That's high for ball 1. So 1-0 now to Avila. He struck out in the second. Lenhart's thrown pretty good so far. It's just been a few opportunities for the Force. That one is fouled off the catcher's mask, and Liam Forsyth is going to have to take a beat. That was a tough break there. That ball came hot off the bat.
They're going to come out and check on him. That's the kind of thing to give you a concussion.
Yeah, he's up and moving around, but you don't want to mess with that. You want to make sure you take a good look.
Yeah, I think it's standard protocol to bring the trainer out and check him.
Yeah, looks like he's going to be okay. This is a good opportunity to remind folks that tonight is Food for People night at the ballpark. Food for People provides food for more than 5,000 seniors every month, including delivery to homebound seniors. You can find out about food distribution locations, how to volunteer or donate at foodforpeople.org. So it looks like Forsyth is going to be okay. The call is 1-2 now on Jean-Paul Avila. Brock Lenhart waits for him to get set in the box. Everybody's ready to go. At the belt. Here's the pitch. That's way outside for ball 2.
I trust him more on swings.
So here's the 2-2. The pitch swung on and shot way out to left field. Nolan Hamilton is just going to watch that one. It is thankfully foul because it was
That was smacked.
like that almost made the northbound freeway lane
Yeah.
over there. Holy
Yeah.
smokes.
Yeah.
That one was 89 off the bat, but just powered into the gray sky. So Crabs dodge a bullet. Villa's still at 2-2 with 2 out. Lenhart takes a breath. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled up towards the family picnic area. We'll do it again. Villa making Lenhart work here. In the top of the 4th. Force plated 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd. Crabbies are scoreless. Lenhart gets the call he wants. Here's the pitch, way outside. Count goes full now. Yeah,
I mean,
the home plate umpire
yeah.
has rung up Crabbies on pitches that look exactly like that, so not getting the call here is pretty tough. Lenhart's got to bear down now, get this out. Here's the windup and the pitch. That's swung on and shot to the third baseman, who kind of eats it off of his chest. He grabs it and throws it, but he is safe.
Nicely done.
Oh, did he get him?
He got him.
He got him. Oh my gosh, that was a great throw. I thought for sure he did not have him. Well, Caden Lee comes up spades, taking the ball off the chest there, gets the 3rd out of the inning. It is still 2-0.
Great job to stay with it.
Absolutely. We'll be back with more exciting Crabs baseball, 107.3 FM. Welcome back to the Arcata Ballpark. Crabs trailing the Bay Area Force 2-0. This game is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank, strengthening our local communities. Our commitments come to life through our people, programs, and policies. Together, we can make a difference in the communities that we serve. It'll be Forsyth, Moss, and Lee for the Crabs. They need to get busy. There's plenty of baseball left to play, but they're trailing by 2. And as you said, the pitcher, Hanoa, has been pretty good for the Force.
Yeah, he'll tire.
I admire that outlook.
Just a matter of waiting him out.
So this brings up Liam Forsyth. He took a tough shot off the bat as catcher. Hopefully he's worked that out. Looks like he's okay. Forsyth struck out in the 1st. Hanoa's out there waiting for him to get set in the box. Everybody's ready. Here's the windup in the pitch. That is swung on and bounced right over the pitcher. He's going to have a barehanded chance. He grabs, fires, throws, gets him at first. That was a close play.
Nice play by, that's Manji at short. And he had to hurry the throw, and he made a good one.
Boy, that looked like it had a chance. It was just a slow blooper over the pitcher there. But
bare hand pickup. And
so the knocks keep coming for the Crabs.
No hitter, no hitter, no hitter.
well,
Liam is
right.
pointing out that it's a no-hitter, and we'll just keep talking about that. No worry about jinxing it here in the booth. Here's Hano.
We're
Sutter
trying to jinx it.
takes ball 1. Hopefully that's how it works.
He's pitching a no-hitter, yes.
That one is slapped.
See?
The no-hitter
It
is
works.
over as Sutter Moss lines
Good job,
one
Liam.
over the second baseman. We're going to give all of that. That was Jack that did that? All right, Jack here in the media booth taking all the credit. Crabs are in business. Sutter Moss single to first.
Now batting for the Crabs from Simpson University, number 24, Caden Lee.
So Caden Lee has an opportunity for atonement here. He made an outstanding play at third base and then followed that up with a tough error that ended up putting one of the runs on the board for the Force. He's got a runner on with one out now. Hano winds and delivers way outside. Catcher making a great stab at that one to keep the runner in place. 1-0. Caden Lee struck out in the second. A hit here could move the runners along. Definitely want to avoid that double play ball. Crabs need some offense. Here's the pitch. It's a good take. 2 balls, no strikes. Harvey Max is the home plate umpire, and he's had some questionable calls, in particular punching out a couple Crabs. It's good to see the Crabbies batters staying home.
It's Maxie, right?
Maxie.
I think it's Maxie.
Maxie. I said Max? Yep, Harvey
Yeah.
Maxie. My eye looks like a colon there. Okay. So it's 3-0 now to the Crabs' third baseman. A walk here would be great. Should be taking all the way. Here's the pitch. That's outside. Actually, no, that's a pretty good strike right there. 79, right inside the zone. 3-1. So 3-1 now to Lee. Pitcher's checking second. Not sure why. That's outside. Lee walks. 2-1 for the Crabs. So the best opportunity so far for the Humboldt baseball team. That's going to bring up Parker Rogers, the second baseman. He walked in the second. A hit here could cut the lead in half.
That's 5 walks now for Hano.
That's the outcome you want, taking the pitches that the Crabs are. He's got a couple strikeouts gifted to him. So here's the first pitch to Rogers. That's high for ball 1. Rogers is a .250 hitter. He's got 10 hits and 40 at-bats, 9 home runs, 16 walks, 17 strikeouts. 1-1 now. That one's taken high for ball 2. That's Sutter Moss out there on second base. Caden Lee walked. He's on first. Crabs trailing 2-0 here in the bottom of the 4th at the Arcata Ballpark. Rogers has a 2-0 count. Waits for the pitch. Here it is. That's slapped directly to the second baseman, and the Crabs are lucky that they avoided a double play ball. Tough break.
Almost got Moss.
Yeah, double play ball would have ended the inning. So as it is, Michael Perazzo is going to have an opportunity now to put the first runs across the plate for the Crabs. Perazzo popped out to the infield in the second. 266 hitter. Needs to come through for Humboldt here. Hano looking to get out of trouble. Here's the first pitch. That's taken for a strike. A little bit outside. Got Michelle, Debbie, Becky, and Little Lego watching us on YouTube. Thanks for joining us, friends. Big opportunity for the Crabs now. Time taken by the batter. Perazzo steps in, batting on the right side, left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. 0-1 count now. Here's the pitch. That's outside. 1-1. It's been 2 out rallies.
Sure has.
In the first and the third for the Force. Crabs looking to make their mark. Here's the pitch, and that one just about hits him. The catcher makes an outstanding dive. Andy Mack. Did it hit him?
Guess
Either
it
way,
did.
I guess he's walking. There he goes. So it looks like hit by pitch. That's going to load the bases for the Humboldt Crabs. FOC is full of crustaceans, as they say here in the ballpark, and it brings up the top of the order. Jacob Pappas walked in the first, struck out in the third, and if he gets a hit right here, he could tie the ball game. There's 2 out. Hano's pitched a pretty good game up until this point, but he finds himself in a whole heap of trouble. The Crabs got blood in the water. Here's the first pitch, and that's taken for a ball. 1-0 on the Crabs' leadoff hitter. Benjamin's been counting on the offense to show up. This would be a great time for it. At the bottom of the 4th, Crabs trailing 2-0. Hano takes a minute. Doesn't like what he's getting from his catcher there. Now he's back on the rubber. Takes a long look in, gets what he wants. Checks off the runner. Here's the pitch. Ooh. That one's taken high. Ball 2. Papa's getting himself in a hitter's count with the bases loaded. This is exactly what you want to see. Big chance. Here's the pitch. That was fouled off.
That's the one he wanted.
That's the one he wanted. That was 81 and a strike. And he just got under it. 2-1 now. The Arcata fans want it. Papa squares up, shoulders the bat, and waits. Here's the 2-1. That one's taken for a ball. 3-1 now. Papa's just stone cold at the plate. You got an ump that's calling him all over the place. The bases are loaded with 2 out. And he takes what he needs to take. Here we go now, 3-1. Here's the pitch. That one is slapped right into the gap. That's going to be trouble. That's going to bring 1 across. Here comes the throw, and it is going to be too late. Pappas pulls through. The leadoff hitter draws the Crabs even. Go Crabs, go.
Told you this guy would get tired. And
yeah, he got himself in trouble. So that's going to move Michael Perazzo to second base. Jacob Pappas stands at first with a 2 RBI hit. Just great clutch hitting there. Taking all of the balls that he's seeing, getting himself into a 3-1. Plenty of pressure with 2 out and the bases loaded. Just some business as usual slap hitting right there.
he didn't hit it very hard, just hard enough to get it over the shortstop's head.
That's what you need. This game is tied. So this is Hamilton now, and he takes the first pitch. Oof, that one was outside, but we are going to call it a strike because that's what the umpire says. So Noah Hamilton is now down 0-1. He's got Michael Perazzo on second base and Jacob Pappas over there at first. Crabs could take a lead with a hit.
It's a sad situation when the best you can say is that's not his worst call tonight.
That is true. Hamilton's a .288 hitter. If he hits a homer, it'd be his first this year. It'd be a great time for it. That one's in a very similar spot, but this time, wisely call the ball. 1-1 now to the Crabs left fielder.
Well, they say it's a game of inches, but they usually don't mean, 36.
Yeah, it's all about perspective.
Or 48 inches.
Isn't that philosophy?
They usually mean a couple of inches.
The 1-1's taken for a strike. It's now 1-2, and that one was also a little bit outside. But again, it's just all about perspective.
Almost at the zone. I think that's in the buffer zone, so technically that was a correct call.
Jack's mom says maybe the umpire's on East Coast time. Here's the pitch. That one's slapped, bounding to third base. He's able to glove it and throw, but that one gets away from him. And this is going to be all kinds of trouble. Another Crab is going to come home. The other runners go to second and third. Crabs take the lead.
E5.
3-2. Go Crabs, go. So Nolan advances to second. Nolan Hamilton advances to second there. Jacob Pappas makes his way around to third, and Michael Perazzo comes across. Big inning for the Crabs. This is exactly what they need, taking a lead here against the Force, and that's going to lead to a conference on the mound. We'll take this opportunity to check in on the Pacific Empire League. The Healdsburg Prune Packers are all over the Medford Rogues, 9-3 there in Healdsburg. The Solano Mudcats and the Lincoln Potters are locked up 4-4. The Mudcats beat the Prune Packers just recently. The Lincoln Potters are the third place team behind the Humboldt Crabs in the Pacific Empire League rankings. So that one's worth watching. Mound conversation still going on out there, but it looks like the home plate umpire is on his way out to try to end things. Apparently he's now joining into the conversation. There's just a whole bunch of things to say out there. What are they doing? Why is the umpire standing there talking to them? I don't understand this. Okay, finally they break things up. This is going to bring up Tyler Howard. Howard is a dangerous batter for the Humboldt Crabs. He's had some really, really clutch hits so far this year. He's batting .338. He's got 22 hits and 65 at-bats. 1 double, 2 triples, 2 homers, 19 RBIs. He's walked 6 times, struck out 12. He's got an opportunity to make things worse for the Force here. 2 out. Here's the pitch. Takes. That's a strike. So Crabs have put 3 on the Bay Area Force. It's now 2-3 Humboldt. This is the inning we've been waiting for. Last time I took the play-by-play, it was disaster, so I feel pretty good right now.
No, you're not done yet. So
Right?
just
Yeah. Something about chickens and eggs. The 0-1 is a strike. It is 2 strikes now against the Crabbies right fielder. My family grew up with chickens. I know how that's supposed to work. You got to wait for the peeping. So it's 0-2 now to Howard. Hano checks second, delivers. That's outside. Ball 1. Good eye,
Hano
Blue.
thought he had strike 3. He was
Right.
headed off the mound.
Right? Yeah, well, he's gotten stranger calls. That one
That's
was
right.
way
I was gonna
out
say,
there.
that wouldn't be. It's not an unreasonable
If you,
assumption.
if you walk off with enough purpose, the umpire might just give it to you, maybe. I don't know. So Crabs on second and third, 2 out. Here's the 1-2. That one slapped right past the pitcher. Crabs are going to add to their lead. Tyler Howard comes through. That's going to bring Pappas around. That's going to bring Hamilton around. That is a 2 RBI single for Tyler Howard. Go Crabs, go. So after a pretty good game, Noah Hano has just run into the grinder here. The Crabs have lit him up. It is 5 runs played in the 4th.
I mean, that error at third
did not help.
Really hurt because he'd be out of the inning if it weren't for that.
Yes.
And those 2 runs are unearned for that reason.
And we said it. It's been 2-out rallies all night. The Force put up both of their runs in the 1st and 3rd with 2 outs, and now it's the Crabs' turn. This time putting crooked numbers on the board. So it's 0-1 now to Medikoff. Medikoff chops at that one and sends that one way foul. 0-2. Hano still out there for the Force. Medikoff waits at the plate. Here's the 0-2. The runner goes. That's taken inside. The throw out to second is a good one. Boy, he almost had him.
They had him.
It looks like the second baseman, that's Dylan Schau out there, might have bobbled the catch.
Sure does.
So great steal by Tyler Howard. Crabs staying aggressive here. They're up by 3, and they're trying to widen the gap. So Medikoff now is a runner in scoring position. That's Tyler Howard out there on second base. He plated 2 with his hit. Here's the pitch. That's way outside. Oh, it gets by the catcher. That's going to move Howard over to third.
Yeah.
It's going to bring the count to 2-2 for the Crabs' first baseman. Howard has struck out and walked. Exciting Crabs baseball here in the 4th. Hano gets the sign he wants. Here's the windup, and that goes behind the batter. Tate Medikoff has to get out of the way for that ball by bending forward over home plate. That's not something you see every day. there are pitchers working in the bullpen. My guess is they're just waiting for Hano to get out of this inning. 2 out, 3-2. Runner at third. Here's the pitch. That one slapped right to the third baseman, but he misses it. And that's going to plate another run for the Humboldt Crabs as Medikoff gets an RBI single. Waiting for the call. A little bit of deliberation as to what exactly to code that one, but the result is the same. It's another run across the plate for the Crabs, 6-2 now. All 6 innings coming here in the 4th, and it is called an E5 now for Medikoff. So E5, Liam Forsyth is going to be the next batter for the Crabs, but now it looks like we are going to get a new pitcher. So yeah, the Force are going to the bullpen, trailing now 6-2 in the 4th inning. And while this pitcher gets himself situated on the mound, we're going to go back to the studio for a 60-second break. This is exciting Crabs baseball, 107.3 FM. Welcome back to the ballpark. The Crabs needed to get busy, and they have taken the note. They have put 6 runs on the Bay Area Force here in the bottom of the 4th. There's still 2 outs. Number 21, Noah Galvin, is taking over for Noah Hano out there on the mound. And Benjamin, you said that the Crabs were going to get to him, and that's exactly what happened. They got to him. Good news. Love to see it.
I saw that coming.
You did say the later innings, but I'll take it. It doesn't matter.
I meant later than we said than we were speaking.
My old coach said you can splice hairs all day, and you know what you get? Hairy. That's it. Just
right.
hairy.
That's true.
All right. So that's going to bring up Liam Forsyth, the catcher. And with this, it looks like the Crabs have batted around, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they have. Yeah, Forsyth led off the inning, grounding out to short.
And that's great because it means I put all of these last hits in the wrong inning cycle, but that's okay. The first pitch from Noah Galvin is high, and that is a ball. So I'm going to try to figure out my book here as Noah Galvin gets his pitch squared away, and he gets what he wants, fires that one. That's chopped right in front of the catcher, who struggles to corral it, finally gets it. The base umpire called it a foul, but everyone acted as though it was fair. We're waiting to get a call.
I think he called it foul.
Yeah, it looks like it was foul. So that's going to send everybody back.
Here comes the manager to get some clarification. So now they're going to meet and get their story straight out there. Come up with an alibi.
Something has got to be plausible. It's got to be believable. What do we do? I still don't know exactly what's happened, but I guess they're sending him back, so they're calling it foul. All right, well, it looks like they've sorted it out. Home plate umpire is getting back behind the catcher. Liam Forsyth's going to step back in there. 1-1, 2 out. That's Tate Metcalf at first. Galvin gets the call he wants. Winds and delivers. That's outside. 2-1.
You guys heard the Hail Mary? Like back when the replacement refs were in the NFL, there's a Hail Mary pass.
It's been a huge inning for the Crabs. There's been errors, but also just some clutch hitting. Some really, really good at-bats. Taking tough pitches against an umpire who's calling them all over the place. Here's the 2-1. That's a big swing and strike. 2-2 to Liam Forsyth now. Prune Packers in town this weekend. That'll be some outstanding baseball. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 7 o'clock, 6:30, and 12:30 respectively. So you got some daytime baseball, nighttime baseball. Take it all in, Crabs fans. Here's the 2-2. Big
good
swing.
pitch.
That gets him out of the inning. Struck out. But it was a good one. 6 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Crabs. It's 2 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors for the Bay Area Force. This is thrilling Crabs baseball. ESPN 107.3 FM. Welcome back to the ballpark, friends. The Crabs took a little while to get going, but they are firing on all cylinders now. It is 6-2. The Bay Area Force were able to plate 1 in the first and 1 in the third and hold the Crabs quiet during that period. But then all heck broke loose. Looks like it's still going to be Brock Lenhart out there pitching for Humboldt. And he's going to face Mac, Shao, and Manji. It's Food for People night here at the ballpark. In emergencies or natural disasters, Food for People jump into action to get food to people displaced by an earthquake, wildfire, or storm. You can find out about food distribution locations, how to volunteer or donate at foodforpeople.org. So here's number 13, catcher for the Force, Andy Mack. He popped out to right field in the second. Brock Lenhart's out there. He's done a pretty good job, all things considered, tonight. Here's the first pitch of the inning.
Well, only one of the runs is earned.
That's taken. Yeah, exactly. And he's got to feel pretty good getting a 4-run lead from his offense.
And the only hard hit ball was that double in the first inning by King.
Yeah. Here's the second pitch, and that one slapped right at the shortstop.
That was hit pretty hard.
Yeah, yeah. Gonna dish those words up to Benjamin here. Michael Peraza was able to make a jump on that, but not able to get the glove on it. Andy Mack goes to first base. The leadoff hit. So here comes a pinch hitter now. This is number 35. Don't have Raul Ramos, it sounds like, is the name there. So Ramos, number 35, comes in to pitch hit in the 9 spot for Dylan Shao at second base. Here's the first pitch. That's taken for a strike. I've said it before, but one of the many amazing aromas at the ballpark is wood smoke. Feels like I'm at a campground.
One of the reasons I don't like camping.
Just unacceptably false, Benjamin.
I don't like smell of.
Oh, boy.
I can't stand the smell of my clothes.
So we have some fundamental disagreements, Benjamin, and this is one of them.
And I also don't like not having coffee right when I get up.
Yeah, you got to get that camp coffee. It is absolutely terrible.
But
and
you
it's
got to
one of my
make
favorite
it.
things.
You got to
Yeah.
nail a fire and everything
Yeah.
first. Come
Yeah.
on, no.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Here's the 0-2. That's swatted towards third base, but foul. It's called roughing it,
Yeah,
Benjamin. It's
no.
rough
No thanks.
and wonderful. So nobody out, one on. Crabs leading 6-2. Lenhart winds and delivers. That's swatted, foul. Bounced just right by the catcher there. He was ready, but not playable. So we'll do 0-2 again. Raul Ramos is pinch hitting here. The Force are in it. Feels like they got to respond. No out, one on. This is a good opportunity for them to do that. Firing to first base now. He's safe. I'm going to take a quick opportunity to shout out to my dad starting his radiation therapy right now. It's no fun. Love you, Pop.
Oh, terrible.
Thinking about you. You can do it. Here's the pitch. That shot past the second baseman into the outfield. Bay Area Force are in business now. Nobody out, 2 on. Andy Mack goes to second. Ro Ramos, pinch hitting, goes to first. That brings us to the top of the order. Isaiah Manji. He popped out in the first, out 5-3 in the third. He's got an opportunity to try to cut back into this lead. Lenhart's pitched pretty good up until this point. Found himself in a bit of trouble as Krusty the Krab, the world's most famous Dungeness crab, makes his way across the front. Here's the pitch, big swing and a strike. 78 miles an hour right down the middle of the zone, just piped him. 1-0. Sorry, 0-1. That's how that works. So Manji's got an 0-1 call now, and here's the pitch. Swings at that one, strike 2. 67 miles an hour way outside. Got him guessing on that one. Nobody out. 2 on. Strikeout would be ideal here. Double play would be good, but does move the runner to third. Gotta avoid a hit. Here's the pitch. That's chopped foul. Out of play, way over towards the picnic area. Crabs have 27 home runs this year. That's pretty good.
We were wondering the other night what the team record is for that.
Yeah.
'Cause they got to be fairly close.
Well, we said for the trivia that Damian Henderson has the
He has a
individual home
individual
run
record, yeah.
with 10. Cameron Sewell was threatening that. He still is, but he's been a little quiet, not playing tonight. Maybe he'll do it against the
Because we got a lot of
Packers.
guys. We got the home runs spread out in this team. A
Here's
lot
the
of guys
0-2.
have home runs.
It's taken for a ball.
Sorry, shout-outs are at the merchandise booth.
I just wanna
Yeah, it's
do
actually a
shout
pretty
out.
good note.
How
If
do
you
do a shout out?
take a look at the Crabs, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people with more than 1 home run this year on the Crabs. Obviously, some of them have 6 and 7, and some of them have 3 and 2, but that's pretty good. So 1 and 2 now. Here's the pitch. That is swatted. That's foul as well. So Isaiah Manji hanging in there. Mack is on second. Ramos is on first. Force trail to Crabs 2-6. Crabs won 9-1 last night. Force making it close tonight, taking a 2-0 lead and giving up 6 in the bottom of the last inning. So Lenhart's got nobody out. Here's the 1-2 swung on and
Yeah,
missed.
that was
Strike 3.
Unfortunate swing there. That was not even a close pitch.
Not even close. He had him guessing that whole at bat. He was swatting at nonsense and fouling away strikes. Love to see it. So Melosi now Teote is going to come up. He was one of the runs that the Force were able to scrape across in the third. He reached on a single, popped out to right field. Oh, this is a pinch hitter. This one's fouled. So this is not now Teote. This is who?
Correction from the booth. Pinch hitting number 20, Andres Romo.
Andres Romo, I believe. Yeah, Andres Romo. Yeah, like Sergio Romo. Here's the 0-1. That one's corralled, fired over to third, and he is safe. It was looked like a pitch got away from the catcher there, and Liam Forsythe was quick to his feet, palmed it and fired, but the runner was staying savvy and able to get to third. So runners at the corner now with 1 out. Whole new opportunity now to play to run with a sac fly, infield out. I mean, the Crabs have a double play opportunity to get out of the inning with no damage. So that's the good news. They didn't lose that chance. 1-1 now. Here's the pitch to Romo. That one's flying way out into center field, and the center fielder's actually coming in now. He makes the catch, and that is the second out. Pappas is able to get it in quick. Runner stays put. That was a high fly ball to center field, but not deep enough to move the runner. So Romo misses that opportunity.
Here's King. King's 2 for 2 tonight with a double.
Yeah, King's been trouble. The double came in the first, the single in the third, and I think that was the RBI, if I'm not mistaken. So here's the pitch to King. That's outside for ball 1. Lenhart with a chance to get out of this one. He's had runners on the whole inning. So far, the Force have nothing to show for it. So here's the 1-0. That's outside for ball 2. Humboldt is 31-5 on the year. They've lost 2 games at home. One to the Lincoln Potters and one to the West Coast Kings. Here's the 2-0. That one's swatted out to the shortstop. He dishes it over to the second baseman for the Force out, and that will get us out of the inning. The Crabs maintain their lead 6-2. This is exciting Crabs baseball, 107.3 FM. Welcome back to Downtown Arcata, friends. This is Aaron Donaldson with Benjamin Shaper bringing you exciting Crabs baseball. The Crabs waited until the 4th inning, but were able to put 6 on the Bay Area Force. They now lead 6-2. The pitcher out there for the Bay Area Force continues to be Galvin Noah, who came on in relief of Noah. He had a pretty good game, but then things just ran away from him in the 4th. So we'll see how pitching holds up against this Crabs offense. They're typically pretty good. They beat the Bay Area Force 9-1 last night, going for the sweep here tonight before they welcome the Healdsburg Prune Packers into town this weekend. So So it's going to be Moss, Lee, and Rogers for the Crabs. Moss singled in the 4th, lined out in the 2nd. That's Noah Galvin out there pitching for the Bay Area Force. Here's the first pitch. That's taken for ball 1. Galvin pitching 86 miles an hour there, well above the zone. So 1-0 against Sutter Moss. Here's the windup and the pitch. Takes that one for ball 2. Umpire has been kind of all over the place, and the Crabs have held up in the batter's box. It's tough to take those pitches when they get called not only for strikes, but for strikeouts. There have been some tough punch-outs for Crabs batters tonight. Here's a pitch and a big swing for a strike 1. 2-1 now. Benjamin's going to take his little walk through the ballpark now. It's a cool, overcast night. The lights are on. Clouds are set. Here's the 2-1. Takes that one for a strike. That was a pretty good pitch. 84 miles an hour at the knees. Sutter Moss facing 2-2 now. Big inning for the Crabs, plate in 6, but just a 4-run lead. Like to see him get a little more insurance. Here's the 2-2, big swing, punched out. So that's the first out for the Crabs here in the bottom of the 5th, and that's going to bring up Caden Lee, the 3rd baseman. He struck out in the 2nd, walked in the 4th. Crabs batted around in the 4th. Had a really productive inning, obviously. Caden Lee has made a great play at 3rd base, but then also erred to result in one of the runs that the Bay Area Force were able to get across in the 3rd. So here's Galvin now. The pitch is low or inside. Gets away from the catcher. Nobody on. Doesn't matter. 1 ball, no strikes. Thanks for joining us on 107.3 FM and on YouTube there. It looks like Jonathan, Michelle, Debbie, Becky all pipe it up saying go Crabs. Welcome. Here's the 1-0. That's taken for a strike. That wasn't too bad. Just kind of dotting the corner there, 82 miles an hour. Galvin's got 1 out, nobody on. Here's the 1-1 now. That one swung on and missed. Strike 2 for Caden Lee. Prune Packers in town this Friday. That game's at 7 o'clock. The Saturday game starts at 6:30. Sunday is 12:30. The band will be here Friday and Saturday, or Friday and Sunday. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled. Still 1-2. Only three weekends left. Prune Packers, Medford Rogues, and then if we're not in the Pacific Empire League Championship, the Placer County Peloteros are coming to town. If we're in the championship, that's what we'll be doing that weekend. Here's the 1-2. That's taken for a ball. 2-2 now. Crabs half a game back on the Prune Packers in the Pacific Empire League Championship. They're a couple games up on the Lincoln Potters. They got a great chance to play in that championship this year. They were outside looking in last year. Here's the 2-2. That goes way over the catcher's head. So that's going to bring the count full. So 3-2 now to the Krabbies' 3rd baseman. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swung on, struck out. 2 strikeouts now for Galvin. That's going to bring on Parker Rogers. He walked in the 2nd and lined out in the 4th.
Number 4, Parker Rogers.
Crabs lead 6-2. Nobody on for Parker Rogers, 2 out. Here's the pitch. Takes that one for strike 1. 80 miles an hour, a little bit outside. A little bit of feedback from the friendly Arcata crowd here for the home plate umpire. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's taken for strike 2. Similar spot, similar result. 0-2 now against Parker Rogers. I have a dream where balls are balls and strikes are strikes. That's lofty. Lofty ambitions here. Here's the 0-2. That's swung on and fouled over towards the plaza. Just all sorts of things going on in Arcata tonight. Benjamin having trouble parking because there's apparently softball and soccer and sports galore here in Arcata. Not many better seats than Crabs right now, leading 6-2. Here's the 0-2. That's taken, and they are off the field. Strike 3. So struck out 3 in a row, did Galvin, and that is going to close out the 5th, but the Crabs still lead 6-2. This is 107.3 Crabs baseball. Welcome back to the corner of 9th and F Street, downtown Arcata. This is Crabs baseball. The Bay Area Force are going to lead off the 6th with their 3, 4, and 5 hitter. That's Blake King, Owen Wilbur, and Dylan Brandenburg, assuming no pinch hitters. This looks like it could be a new pitcher for the Crabs. Number 33 out there? Let's take a peek. Is that still the same guy? Yeah, it looks like maybe Cody Collins coming in to pitch for the Crabs now. Let me confirm that that's correct. Taking a couple. Yep, that's 33 Cody Collins. So Cody Collins comes in to relieve Brock Lenhart. We've got some numbers on Collins here, if I can dig them up. Let's see. There's our pitching stats. Collins has been good. At one point, he struck out like 9 batters in a row. That's the head. If you look at the hitter stats, you're not going to find a lot of pitching numbers. Here we go. Here's the pitching statistics. Collins has pitched 16.1 innings. He's got an ERA of 5.5. That's 18 hits. He's struck out 20 and walked 5. That's pretty good. So Collins is going to face King, Wilbur, and Brandenburg. Crabs lead 2-6. Here's the first pitch of the inning to King. That is down for ball 1. So King hit a double in the first, singled in the third. So the second pitch is in there for a strike. That's 89 miles an hour, a little bit outside, 1-1. So King waits at the plate. Collins winds and delivers. That's low, 90 mile an hour, ball 2. You have Avila batting?
Is it Avila or King batting? I have Avila batting.
Dominic Avila.
Oh, wow, I'm way off. I see. Oh, wait, Dominic Avila is pinch hitting. I see. That's why. Okay. So, Dominic Avila is pinch hitting for Wilbur. I'm a batter off. This isn't King, this is Wilbur. And Wilbur's facing a 3-1 count now against Cody Collins. Sorry, this is Avila batting for Wilbur. Avila fouls this one out towards the bus stop. I'm going to get this right.
All right, maybe.
Maybe. Benjamin, make sure I can unmute him so he can voice his concerns. All right. So Avila now with a full count.
You can mute me again now.
Collins delivers, swings on this one, fouls. No, I'm just really interested to hear what you have to say, especially if it's so optimistic. Maybe. That sounds like there's a chance. So Dominic Avila now still with a full count, nobody out. Cody Collins on the mound. Long look in, finally gets what he wants. Sets, here's the pitch. That one slapped right at the second baseman, and he can't quite make the first grab, but has enough
Good
time
job.
to take a second try. Out number one. It's Parker Rogers out there making that play. And that's going to bring up Dylan Brandenburg.
Number 2, Angel Fabian.
So Brandenburg reached with a single in the fourth, struck out in the first. Here's the pitch. That's taken for strike one. 90 miles an hour, right around the chin. Great pitch. Collins can cut him down. We've seen him do it in the past. Quiet inning here would be great. Big swing on that one, strike two. That one's 90 miles an hour, still working the inside is Collins. Pitching's been a little hit and miss for the Crabs at some point this year, but it's been pretty good tonight. Here's Collins now on the 0-2. Strike three, swinging. Love to see it. So Dylan Brandenburg is sat down on strikes, and that's going to bring up Thomas Bolden with 2 out. Crabs lead 6-2, top of the 6th. Cody Collins out there in relief for Brock Lenhart. Takes a long look in, finally on the same page with Liam Forsyth. Sets and delivers. Ooh, that one's up, and he's got a duck. Ball one. Kind of got away from him there. So Thomas Bolden waits in the batter's box. Collins has the pitch he wants. Here's the delivery. Takes that one for strike one. So 2 out, nobody on, 1-1. Here in the top of the 6th with the Crabs leading 6-2. Collins winds and delivers. That one's taken for strike two. It's a great pitch, 76 miles an hour, right in the heart of the strike zone. Collins coming right at him here. Looking to set the Bay Area force down in order. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike three. Great inning for Cody Collins. Bay Area force go 1-2-3. The Crabs still lead 6 runs, 3 hits, 1 errors for Humboldt. 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Bay Area force. This is exciting Crabs baseball, 107.3 FM. Welcome back to the ballpark, Crabs fans. The Crabs are out front 6-2. It looks like we have the same pitcher out there. I believe that is still, yes, Galvin Noah is out there pitching for the Bay Area Force, and he is going to face Michael Peraza in the 9 spot, and then the top of the order, Jacob Pappas and Noah Hamilton. Peraza was part of that rally back in the 4th. He was hit by a pitch and later came across. He lined out in the 2nd. So Crabs up 6-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Able to overcome a 2-run deficit. First pitch is sent skied over towards the bus station. Foul ball, 1 strike. Crabs baseball is rapidly coming to a close, friends. We've got this weekend with the Prune Packers, the following weekend with the Rogues, and one more weekend after that. Get your tickets. Come check out Crabs baseball.
Yep.
A lot of good baseball left.
It's true, and it's going to go fast.
It will. So here's the 0-1 now. That's taken for strike 2.
Pretty soon we'll be back to school.
I know. I've already started prepping, Benjamin.
Have you?
Oosh, here goes. Get ready. There's a couple more weeks of hammock time. I can do it. All right, so it's 0-2 on Peraza now. Here's the pitch. That one is slapped out towards left field, and he is running and watching it, and it drops foul. Almost a real problem hit there, but
Into the bullpen.
yeah, didn't quite stay fair. So it stays 0-2 now for Peraza. Prune Packers will be a good game. The Berkovich Honors are in town midweek next week. The Medford Rogues come in that weekend. That'll be a good game. A lot of Pacific Empire League game here at the end of the season. That's exciting. So Peraza's taking his time now getting back to the batter's box. He was hoping for a double. Instead, it is a long strike. All right, so he's back now, ready to hit. 0-2. Galvin shakes off one call and finally gets what he wants. Here's the windup and the pitch. That is off the catcher. Taken for a ball. 1-2. It's been a great season for Crabs baseball. There's just been a bunch of offense, some close games, some exciting games.
It's been a good team,
comebacks.
too. It's just such a good team.
Good
this year.
team.
One of the best teams we've had in a long time.
Played great on the road.
Yeah, just really one of the best teams we've had in a while.
Big swing on the 1-2, and that is a strikeout. Yeah, we were talking about how much deeper they are, how the long ball's a bigger part of their game than usual. They're still stealing as much as ever, but coupling that with a lot of big hits and power hitters, it's just been a real treat to watch this team play this year. So 1 out, nobody on. That's going to bring up the top of the order. Jacob Pappas, the center fielder. He has reached on a single, struck out, and walked. First pitch here is strike 1. I was going to say, he must have swung at that because it was way outside. He's not calling those, is he? No balls, 1 strike to Pappas. Galvin winds and delivers. That's taken. 1 ball and 1 strike. Prune Packers have handled the Rogues 9-3 as Pappas looks at ball 2. Sorry, 10-3, and that game has gone final. So 2-1 now to Pappas. 1 out, nobody on. Big swing at that one, strike 2. 87 right down the middle. Just piped him. Couldn't get anything on it. So Pappas will face a 2-2. Galvin's got 1 out, nobody on. Gets the call he wants. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swung on, strike 3. Second strikeout for the Crabs. I could be mistaken. Might be 5th strikeout in a row for Galvin. He's knocking them down. So that'll bring up Nolan Hamilton, the left fielder. He reached on an E5, lined out twice. 6 in a row?
Yeah, because he ended the fifth inning with a strikeout. So
not the kind of correction I want, but there it is. Okay. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Never want to see your team going down like that, but with a 4-run lead, it's a little easier to appreciate. Some pretty good pitch in here.
it's impressive to see him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's
Big swing on the 1-0 there.
he's
1-1.
blowing him by the Crabs. He's not throwing that hard. He's up
No.
in the high 80s. They've seen
Right.
faster, but still.
And he got Hamilton to chase there, but he's also like challenging them. He's coming into the strike zone, putting it where they can hit it, just keeping them guessing. 1-1 now to Hamilton. Here's the pitch. Takes that one for ball 2. It's outside and low. Cooling off quickly here in the ballpark. As we say, as soon as that sun sets with the overcast, it gets dark fast and cools off. Here's the 2-1 now. That one is shot high into the sky, out towards left field. He camps under that and gloves it. And that's the inning. Crabs still leads, 6 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Humboldt, 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Bay Area Force. Benjamin is going to be back to take you the rest of the way. This is exciting Crabs baseball, 107.3 FM. Welcome back to 9th and F Street in downtown Arcata. Crabs lead 6-2, and here to take it the rest of the way is the former vice president for the Western Regional Flat Earth Society, the Professor Benjamin Schaefer. Had to step down, did you?
I did, yes.
Just too much responsibility?
It was too much. Yeah. I left to do research.
Yeah. How's that going?
I still haven't proven you're this flat yet. But
Origins of the Moon, I've heard.
I keep getting the same results, but I think there's a problem with my measuring.
So we have a new pitcher. This is 25, Brody Jacobs out there for the Crabs. He's coming on after Cody Collins put up a pretty good inning. We have numbers for him over there, I think.
Yeah, hang on. Let's see. Brody Jacobs. He comes in 22 and 2/3 innings pitched. He has a 2-0 record, ERA of 3.97. He has walked 11 and struck out 24 in those 22 and 2/3 innings. He's got a 6-2 lead, 6 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Crabs, 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Force. Here's JP Avila. He's 0 for 2.
Get a lot of funding for Flat Earth Society research?
Here's the pitch. And popped in the air behind home plate, and
Nice grab.
nice catch by Forsythe. One
Liam
away.
Forsythe again coming up big there in the catcher spot, making big catches.
1 out. Here's Mac. He's 1 for 2.
Cutting all the education grant dollars possible, but somehow still money for Flat Earth research.
Well, I'm sure they're going to be channeling it to that any day now.
Sounds right. Got to set these priorities right.
I'm sure that's
There's a conspiracy, Benjamin. Why aren't we researching this?
Here's Mack.
Besides the obvious, of course.
Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
That one had some pop to it.
Sure
88.
did. You could hear that pop up here. Jacobs. Yeah, 88-mile-an-hour fastball. Here's the 0-1. That one's way outside, 1-1. The 1-1 misses high.
July 26th is Italian Heritage Night and Pirate Night. Both of those things happening at once. Sounds like it could be trouble. Get the Italians and a bunch of pirates mixing it up. Look
The
out.
2-1 swung on and missed, 2-2. Italy doesn't really have a long history of piracy,
I mean, my family's from Sicily.
as far as I know, right? I mean, there was really no, like,
The one statistic I know about Palermo is they call it the most conquered city in the world. So I don't know.
2-2.
Doesn't sound very pirate-y.
Is called. Strike
There we
3
go.
on the outside corner. Happy trails to Mack. And there are 2 away. Here's Shao. He's 1 for 2. Oh, no, we're going to have a... Oh, all right, this is Ramos, who came in as a pinch hitter for Shao back in the 5th inning, and he singled. And he takes a fastball away and high, 1-0. The 1-0 swung on and missed. What did he kick him out for?
Big swing.
1-1.
My favorite theme night is August 2nd. That's mustache night. That's a good one. Not enough people with the mustaches, though.
1-1 is in the dirt.
I don't think you had a mustache last
2-1.
time.
I don't really do the theme
I know,
night
but
thing.
the mustache night's a good one, Benjamin.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
really do
bring
that.
you a mustache. We have
maybe.
spare mustaches.
Maybe. 2-1.
Nothing propels your radio career forward like a mustache. Fake mustache? Yeah.
Is it 2-1? That's a strike on the outside corner, 2-2. I think that may be true of other professions.
But not radio.
Maybe not radio.
It's the bristles against the microphone that really make it work.
2-2 the count. Ooh, called strike 3.
Wow.
Good pitch.
Okay.
And that ends the inning as the Force go in order. In the top of the 7th, the Crabs lead at 6-2. This is exciting Crabs baseball, 107.3 FM. Welcome back to the ballpark. Bottom of the 7th inning for the Crabs will be Hamilton, Howard, and Medikoff, leading 6-2.
Got a new pitcher again, I think, number
31. Let's see. He's not on their lineup
We
card.
don't have their lineup card. That's the other issue.
I think we might have their roster around here
We'll hear
somewhere.
it.
Here's their roster, 31. The roster, number 31.
Oh, that's where it is.
Vinny Massa is on the mound.
Mudcats and Potters are in the bottom of the 8th. It is 6-7 Potters at the moment. Crabs fans cheering for the Mudcats there with the Potters in second place right behind Humboldt. Lincoln is 10-7 on the year, Humboldt 14-5. So the Crabs have a little bit of wiggle room, but the more games the Potters lose, the better the odds are the Crabs are in that Pacific Empire League championship game.
Hamilton tonight is 0 for 3. He reached up by way of an error in the 4th inning. That was the inning the Crabs got all their runs. So all 6 runs scored in the 4th inning.
This is a busy inning.
And as I may have mentioned in the past, it's a general rule in baseball that the team that wins the game gets more runs in one inning than the other team gets the whole game, generally. It's the big innings that win baseball games. It's true. Yeah, statistically, it's true that the big inning is what wins baseball games.
Huh. I mean, it would go without saying that if you have more runs in one inning than they have cumulatively, that you would win. But the big inning statistically,
but
being,
most wins,
that's
wins are the team.
That's very fun.
Next pitch misses outside, 1-0.
I mean, it makes sense. You know, it's like you can get rallies going and people get hot.
The 1-0. It may not be true anymore. I don't know, but
sounds true.
I heard it from Bill James, and if Bill James says it,
feels right in my guts.
If Bill James says it,
that's sufficient.
It's probably true.
Yeah, we've asserted it.
2-0 the count.
That counts for evidence now.
I had an old friend I used to argue with him about baseball, and I'd always talk about Bill James, and one day he finally just said, "Oh yeah, and Bill James is Noah." 2-0, swung on and missed. 2-1. I mean, Moses. Bill James is Moses.
There you go. He's got those commandments. Is that it?
Yeah.
One of them built a boat.
2-1. Swung on and missed. 2-2 the count now to Hamilton. Massa gets the sign and sets.
I think this is Tyler Howard, actually.
And that gets away.
17, that's who that is.
So I'm a batter off. Oh no, I'm not. I see what I did. Oh wait, no, I have Hamilton. Peraza led off, right? I'm off a batter then somehow.
Yeah, I got Hamilton flying out to right field to end the 6th.
Here's the pitch, and that's ball 4. So Hamilton walks. I have. Oh, I get. Okay, now I see what happens. All right, I did miss that. So 9-3, and so this is Howard. Howard draws the walk. Thank you. And here's Medikoff with a runner at first, and nobody out. Medikoff is 0 for 2 with a walk. And I don't know, the umpire got out behind home plate and made some gesture towards the mound. I don't know what it was.
I was not sure. I was hoping you could translate.
I don't know what that meant.
Seemed very official.
It did, didn't it? Here's the pitch. Lashed foul into the picnic area on the left field side.
Boy, he was just in front of
And
that.
he got out in front of it by a lot. Yeah, that pitch was up at the eyes, and he just jumped on it.
He was looking for it.
0-1.
Came unglued.
Only 3 of the Crabs' runs are earned, but they have a 6-2 lead.
That's a big difference. It's pretty much their margin. 1 run
Now
left
throw
over.
over to first, and Howard is back standing. Yeah, the Crabs only have 3 hits, and they don't have any extra base hits.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been out hit 7-3.
And they throw to first,
and they lead 6-2. That's the price of errors.
That is the price of errors and walks. Errors and walks.
Yeah.
The 0-1. is in there for the strike at the knees. A ball and a strike now on the count to Medikoff, and the next pitch is hit high in the air to left center field.
Oh boy.
Center fielder going back, still
Go,
going
go,
back,
go.
still going back. Adios, muchacho! Two-run home run, Tate Medikoff. And that's his second in as many days. He's
Yeah.
up to 3 on the season.
Yeah, that was a no doubt.
That was crushed.
103
Deepest
off
part of the
bat,
ballpark.
409 feet. Hit the netting out there, extending up over left center, like 2/3 of the way up
And that
the
was
net.
the deepest part of the ballpark, right
Blasted
past,
that one.
right near the 394 sign out there on the net. And
8-2, go Crabs, go.
Crabs lead at 8-2. That was crushed.
Approaching the plate for the Humboldt Crab is number 5.
We just said it, that's the cost of walks, and there was a walk right before that home run
That's
that made
right.
it twice as bad as it ultimately was. Just
So here's
mashed that.
Forsyth. He
Yeah,
did match that. That was one of the
409
hardest hit
feet.
balls we've seen all season.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch, and it's slow and inside. So I think Medikoff now has, let's see, that's his, I think it's his 4th.
I'm looking over at City Hall where Cameron Sewell hit one onto the roof, and I'm realizing that they have net over there too, which
Yeah.
means he hit it over that net.
Here's the pitch.
That's
And
nuts.
that hits him. So that's
Okay.
the 4th home run for Medikoff. And so Forsyth aboard. He's hit by the pitch. Still nobody out. And I don't know, the Force might regret having taken Galvin out of the game because he was
Yeah.
unhittable.
He
He
was
was
doing
literally
pretty good.
unhittable.
Yeah.
And this guy, Massa, is not so much. So here's Moss.
Major League Baseball's at the All-Star break, and the Yankees are second in their division to Toronto. Just love that. Makes me happy.
And the pitch. Low and outside.
Dodgers well ahead in the NL West. 5.5 games up on the Padres. Giants 6 games back. Diamondbacks 11 games back. Rockies 35.5 games back. Think they got a chance?
They're going to need to hurry.
There's a lot of baseball left.
Wide
but
of first. 0-1 to Moss.
what kind of meltdown would it take for the Dodgers, for the Rockies to swap places? I don't know.
Well, it would take more than that because
Yeah.
the Rockies would have to start winning a game or two.
They would need to win some baseball games. That's the thing, yeah.
And there's a strike on the outside corner to Moss. 1-2 now the count.
You don't pay any attention to the All-Star game, do you?
No. The 1-2. And this is outside 2-2. Honestly, this time of year when the Crabs are playing so often, I don't really pay attention to major leagues that much. I'm
Right.
too absorbed with the Crabs games.
Well, you follow your athletics, but
Right.
at least until you don't.
No,
I can't keep up. Where are we now?
I have no idea.
They're last in
2-2.
the AL West, so
Swung on and missed.
Fans at Sutter Moss.
there's 6 teams games back.
Really.
Yeah,
One away here.
Astros and Mariners at the top of that division.
And here's Lee. Lee is 0 for 2 with a walk. Forsyth still over at first. 2 runs are in for the Crabs. They lead at 8-2. Big swing and a miss there on a change.
Flag in center field's hanging straight down, but there's a little breeze circulating here in the media booth, and it is
Well,
chilly.
see, there's 2 levels. If
Yeah.
you look at the
Oh, yeah, over there.
flag on the City Hall, which is at a higher elevation,
It's flapping around a little bit.
it's moving, whereas the one in center field is not. So there's definitely that breeze above the ballpark. Sometimes a ball gets caught up in there and it really flies. 1-1 to count now to Lee. Here's the pitch. And, they're calling it a balk.
Huh.
Or catcher's interference. I can't tell which. He pointed at the catcher. I don't know. So it's no pitch, but looks like I guess it was a balk. And so there's no pitch. It's 0-1 to Lee. And Forsyth now in scoring position. Here's the 0-1, fouled up against the screen. No balls and 2 strikes.
The low tonight is 53 degrees. Love that.
It's chilly, especially up here in the booth because we're above the ballpark a little bit.
Yeah.
It's much chillier out up here than it is in the stands.
I think so.
Next pitch misses outside, 2-2. Two, way outside, and the count goes full. So Massa really struggling here. He's walked a batter, given up a home run, then he hit a batter. He did strike out Moss, but now
Hadley at 0-2.
yeah, he's pitched some pitches have not even been close to Lee. Here's the pitch. That's popped in the air, shallow right field rushing in, still rushing in. He slides. Oh,
Wow.
What a catch by Blake King. That's the second play he's made tonight,
Yeah.
where he really caught a ball that looked like it had no chance to be caught.
Both
There,
at
a
really
slide.
similar spots.
Yeah.
Short right
Yep.
field. The first one he had to go down to his knee and get sideways to grab that one. This one he was on both knees laying
Had to
back.
slide, yeah.
Had to get low and like bend himself over backwards to get the glove in the right position.
Another fine catch.
Big out there.
So here's Parker Rogers. He's 0 for 2. And the pitch. Strike on the outside corner. Good pitch.
Bay Area Force plated 1 in the first, 1 in the third. Crabs got 6 in the fourth, 2 in the seventh.
Sorry, Gavin. The rule is actually if you don't notice your paycheck by the 5th inning, you don't get it. So
The 0-1. Misses high.
I don't. No, I don't. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
This Crab organization really needs to rethink its fund, where the funding flows out of here, because
I'm awaiting my lucrative contract extension. Voice of the Crabs. Wait, what?
some of these people are getting paid. It's not clear. One at one the count.
They pay me with nachos. I'm here for it.
Right.
Shout out money is done.
Nachos
The
and good
1-1.
baseball.
Misses low. 1-2. Oh, that's a strike on the inside corner. 1-2.
We will from time to time get complaints on the YouTube there about the broadcasting. It's rare, but it happens. And for the quality of, the product, I feel like there's nowhere to complain. But when you think about what they're paying for.
1-2 swung on
There
and
you go.
missed. Great pitch, and that ends the inning. But the Crabs get 2 runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 left. And at the end of 7, they lead it 8-2. This is Crabs Baseball, 107.3 FM. Welcome back to the ballpark. Top of the 8th inning, top of the order for the Force. It's Manji, Romo, and King to bat.
Fans, your unofficial
And,
attendance tonight
Crabs looking to sweep this midweek series as they prepare for the big weekend series with Healdsburg. And do we have a new pitcher on the mound? We have a left-hander out there. Is that still?
It's a new pitcher. It's Sean Carey, number 31 for the Crabs. Liam was telling me he pitched a little for the Crabs last year and is one of the pitchers they brought on in the middle of this year.
Yep. Okay.
Ballpark
so
attendance,
Sean Carey.
803 tonight, with another 127 or so watching us on YouTube.
8:03 for a Wednesday night.
Pretty
and
good.
No band.
No band.
Because
Wednesday
no band
night.
is a really good.
It's cold.
We're drawing a lot of people this year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's because the Crabs really just is, you know, the community here in Arcata. It's like the main
It's
event,
great.
really. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot that goes on, but this is the only thing that goes on through the summer.
Right. There was a list on the old Reddit there. Folks were talking about the community stuff that they like in Humboldt. And obviously, folks are talking about like Reggae on the River and Kinetic and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
those are all kind of one-off things,
That's
you know.
true.
Reggae on the River is a festival. Kinetic is just a weekend of really exciting nonsense. Crabs isn't as long as we'd like it to be, but it takes up several weekends of the
Sure
summer,
does,
and
yeah.
you cannot beat it.
That was a crazy strike. That was about 2 feet off the plate. It's a grounder out to second, and
we
Rogers
go.
throws him out. Rogers throws him out, one away. I mean, so here's Romo. He came in as a pinch hitter in the 5th inning and flied to center. And a pitch to Romo is a strike on the inside corner. 0-1, good pitch. Right on the black. The 0-1 tapped foul, and he's quickly ahead of Romo, 0-2. Sean Carey, left-handed pitcher. I do think the Crabs pitching has been strengthened since they saw Healdsburg. So
Yeah, you were mentioning that. Collins, you said they brought on, and Sasso.
Sasso and Carey here.
It was necessary. There were some games that really got away from the Crabs,
right.
and it was, frankly, just all pitching.
Yeah. Next pitch misses outside, 1-2. Oh, nasty backdoor
Wow.
slider called
Oh my
strike
gosh.
3, and Romo knew it. he didn't even. He just started hitting the dugout before the pitch even crossed the plate.
77 miles an hour.
And
Looked
just
like
a
it was going to
perfect
be
pitch.
way outside, and just ended up right over the heart
Yeah.
of the plate.
Perfect. So 2 away. Adam Enyard is warming in the bullpen for the Crabs. We'll see how that goes. Next pitch misses outside, 1-0. He had some trouble in last time he pitched. That was on the road in Medford the last night, and he came into the 9th inning. King is 2 for 3 with a double. That's the only extra base hit of the game, I think. Yeah. Back in the 1st inning. 1-1 now the count. And that pitch misses inside. 2-1. Carey sets and deals 2-1, and that's popped out of play out onto F Street.
Foul ball is sponsored by Charleston Food Services.
Makes sense. 9:30. Traffic really dies down on 101 out there, doesn't it?
2-2, he does. Oh, there's that nasty
There it
backdoor
was again.
slider. Called strike 3. Man,
He toasted.
that is the second batter. He pulled that on, and both of them were completely fooled. That ends the inning as the Force go in order in the top of the 8th. Crabs coming up, leading 8-2. This is exciting Crabs baseball, 107.3 FM. We're back. We have a new pitcher on the mound for the Force. This is number 14, Ezrael Velasquez.
Yeah, I can't confirm. Number 14. All right, Velasquez. Fifth pitcher of the night for the Bay Area Force. Crabs have sent, or sorry, I put that on the wrong line. This is the fourth pitcher.
Crabs are going to use 5 pitchers.
That's
Benhart
it.
comes in.
Yep, that's it. Put Velasquez on the wrong team. But yes, if Enyart comes in, it'll be 5 pitchers for the Crabs. That's unusually high.
It is, yeah. I think they're trying to give a lot of guys some innings before Friday.
Makes sense.
So Peraza lead it off, then Pappas, then Hamilton with the Crabs leading 8-2. 8 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Crabs. 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Force. The team formerly known as the Seals. Next pitch, first pitch, missed it from Velasquez, misses outside, 1-0. The 1-0 hit foul past the Force dugout.
We'll remind folks one more time that tonight is Food for People night at the ballpark. Food for People wants to thank all the fans for contributing food and funds at the ballpark. We serve 21,000 people a month all over Humboldt County. That's 15% of our neighbors. You can find out about food distribution locations, how to volunteer, or donate at foodforpeople.org.
The 1-1 misses way outside in the dirt, and Velasquez has a strange delivery.
He does.
It's the last part of his delivery when he actually releases the ball. He seems to use it mostly as elbow. It's hard to describe, but 2 pitches now he's thrown in the dirt outside because he seems to fling it with his elbow, mostly with his elbow there.
Yeah.
3-1 the count, and that one's in the dirt. The 3-1 popped in the air to right field. King going back, and he's got it for the first out of the bottom of the 8th. So Peraza's 0 for 3. We go back to the top of the order. Here's Pappas, 1 for 3.
Pappas came up big in the 4th, part of that rally. Crabs plated 6 in the 4th, 2 in the 7th. Kept the Bay Area Force quiet since the 3rd.
And he takes a strike outside corner.
It was way out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really wide strike zone. Next pitch is in there. That's a strike right down the middle on the inside corner. I mean, right down the middle.
Right down the middle on the outside corner. Sure.
Yeah.
That works.
0-2. And the next pitch. Off the hands, a little dribbler out towards first base. Velasquez off the mound. He picks it up and he drops it. Infield hit.
Tough play for the pitcher. I think that's the right call. He really had to sprint over there and get it up off the
He
ground
had to
and
hurry
flip
too.
it. It was a foot
it was a
race.
swinging bunt essentially.
Yeah.
And he really had to hurry. It was down the line. And honestly, even if he picks it up cleanly, it's not clear he would have gotten
Right.
the
It
throw
would have
off.
been a tough pitch and a little toss there, I mean, to the first baseman.
So here's Hamilton,
They were both converging on the bag.
0 for 4. It was just right in on the hands. And
Yeah, that was in.
Pappas just, like I said, swinging bunt.
There
He
he
takes
goes.
off, and the pitch is inside and all the way to the backstop. So
Boy.
an easy stolen base.
Leading 8-2 in the 8th, and the Crabs are stealing.
Yeah. And, normally that would be considered bad form.
But
But it's an instructional league, and so the players are working on their skills,
There you go.
and so they often do things that they probably wouldn't do, in a professional game or something like that. Because like
I
in the
buy it.
major leagues, it's not cool to steal when you're up by that many runs, generally.
well, we talk about with the Pacific
pitch.
Empire League
This
games,
is
the
outside.
run differential can.
And that's right,
Be a
too.
difference.
That's another
This
point,
isn't
too,
the
is the run
case here,
difference.
but-
Yeah. Oh, right. Which is not a league game,
Yeah.
but yeah. So,
But it makes sense to try to get those steals, work on the basics.
and he's taken off
There
again.
he
The
goes
2-0 is
again.
way outside. A throw down to third's not in time.
Jacob Pappas going first to third.
Well, he can see that Velasquez, his delivery is very slow.
Right.
And he's throwing a lot of pitches. That pitch was 66 miles an hour.
Right.
So, why not take off?
Got plenty of opportunity. Might as well.
Here's the next pitch, and that's outside. Oh.
Wow.
That was a strike.
Wow.
They're going to bring the infield in now. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground to the third baseman, off his glove and in the left field, and that's going to plate another run for the Crabs. That's an error on the third baseman. That's his third error tonight.
Just kind of eating him up over there. That one was a short hopper. Probably could have made that play no problem. He just wasn't able to get his glove on it. And those steals just come back to haunt him. As you said, it's been walks and steals and errors that have been just punishing the Bay Area Force tonight.
Not hit hard at all. 65 off the bat.
Yeah.
So that's the fourth unearned run for the Crabs tonight. They lead 9-2 now. And here's Howard, and he's
just going to steal all night.
Hamilton takes off, and a throw down the second, not in time. They're just going to run at will on Velasquez here.
Him up.
He is not, well, he's not, and the other thing too is he's not bothering to hold the runners.
He's not checking them off. He's got a big leg kick
I
and
think
a
he's
slow delivery.
He's focusing on the batter, which makes sense. And there's a pitch low that was right at the bottom of the strike zone, called a ball. But
that was a great strike.
But that was should have been called a strike.
Just mean strikes getting called balls and pitches way outside called strikes.
It's like what's that Superman thing where he's in upside down world or whatever? Isn't that a Superman?
That is a Superman.
2-0. Misses out. Is a strike on the outside corner.
Don't wait yourself. It's not in the new one. I know that much.
I only know about this from Seinfeld, but
okay.
2-1 the count.
Does become a point where you do start rooting against the Crabs.
Here's the pitch, and it's high and outside. 2-2. What did Liam just say over there?
I heard the same thing, and I was curious.
What? Runner goes. The 3-1 is high. The throw down the third. They got him.
I don't know. That's close. But okay.
Well, the umpires got to get their sleep too.
Yeah. The Crabs fans are really not having it. You would think up 9-2 they would be able to stomach that one, but
2 away.
They are letting the third base umpire hear it.
Howard draws the walk. And here's Medikoff.
Insatiable.
Medikoff has homered in 3 at-bats, and that ball goes all the way to the backstop, and Howard's going to go down the second on the wild pitch.
Potters and Mudcats have gone final. Lincoln wins that one 11-6. So took care of business in the later innings there. 4 in the 8th, 3 in the 7th.
Here's the pitch outside. 2-0 now to Medikoff. There's a strike.
Sure.
2-1.
Absolutely.
Hey, Liam, was Medikoff with us when we were in Healdsburg? Yes. 2-1. Is it shockingly outside? 3-1. That was in exactly the same spot as the last pitch.
Right.
3-1. Inside, ball 4, and it's going to get away, and that's going to allow Howard to go to third. That's a pass ball. Just so we mix it up a little bit. Pass ball.
Wheels falling off for Force pitching here.
And so here's Forsyth with runners on the corners. A run is already in. They're leading 9-2. And here's the pitch. Outside. Ooh, he wanted to call that a strike. He really did. He just couldn't go. He just couldn't go there again.
He's like, let's not get ridiculous.
I mean, it's exactly the same spot as the two pitches.
The same spot.
He called it a strike once and a ball twice, and that's way high and outside.
He was going to call that one.
And that's 2-0. Like, he wanted to call that a strike. And, you know, I saw him flinch.
Yep. He's got to hold himself back sometimes.
2-0. And that was fouled up against the screen. 2-1.
I feel like if it weren't 9-2, he would have heard from you by now. You usually have a few things to say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not when we're up big.
Not when we're up big. Nah.
That's bad
funny.
form.
That's bad form.
I don't know. I'd call it principled.
2-1 the count. And there's pitch in the dirt. 3-1. You know, there is the virtue of magnanimity.
Huh.
Where you may have a right to something, that doesn't mean you should do it.
I've heard it talked about.
Yes. Just because you have a right to something doesn't mean it's cool to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a right to complain.
I mean, this
bitterly,
is what they say. This is what I've heard.
But, you know, here's the 3-1.
Oh,
Cute foul over towards the Crabs dugout.
It was way inside. Got him chasing on that.
I mean, if you're a trillionaire and someone owes you $5, you know, yeah, you have a right to insist on it, but it seems kind of uncool to demand it.
I feel like if you're a trillionaire at all, it's pretty uncool. But that's, you know,
3
maybe
and 2
just
to count.
spite.
So here, you know, the umpire, yeah, we have a right to complain bitterly, but the next pitch is way outside, ball 4.
So in this instance, you're the trillionaire because of the number of bad calls? Wait, hold on. Trying to unpack this.
No, yeah, right, exactly.
So the bases are loaded now. 9-2.
This is why we're talking about
Trillionaires and
stuff like that. Because it's 9-2, and the bases are loaded, and the Crabs have drawn 3 walks in a row. Here's the pitch way over his head and all the way to the backstop, but there'll be no further advance. So 1-0 now to Moss. Moss is 1 for 4 tonight.
The pitcher's coming to the catcher. Usually it's the other way around.
I just think he has a very strange delivery that really makes it hard for him to, well, obviously,
Control
throw a
might be a
strike.
factor. Right?
Yeah, I think it's he doesn't seem to use his full arm to deliver. It's kind of, like I said, it's hard to describe, but
Kind of a gangly pitch.
here's the pitch. And that's down low and outside, 2-0. It's almost like he's trying to throw dart. It's almost like his motion is like if he were throwing darts or something.
Right.
Rather than, you know, pitching a baseball, if you see what I mean. 2-0 the count. Hammered, foul over the, wow. That scattered some folks over there in the Force dugout. That was 87 off the bat, right at their dugout.
Stay sharp
He
down
just
there.
turned on that. Moss did. Bases are loaded for the Crabs. They've already got a run. They're leading 9-2. Here's the pitch, and Moss reaches out and pops it high in the air back of third base. The shortstop out on the grass, and he makes the catch, and that ends the inning. The Crabs get a run on 1 hit. There was an error and 3 left, and at the end of 8, they lead at 9-2. Stay tuned. Last chance for the Force coming up. This is exciting Crabs baseball, 107.3 FM.
Got to take them when you get the opportunity. Talking blueberries here in the booth.
Delicious, yeah. And some Tamara, the Crabs queen, brings blueberries to everybody in the booth every game from her own
Mind-blowing.
tree.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, homegrown blueberries. Can't beat that. Just saw the broom go by as Crabs are on the verge of sweeping the Bay Area Force here, 9-2.
They might try going back to the old name. I don't know. I would think
Yeah,
about
Liam
that.
was speculating, and then he said that's all it is, speculating that it's like the SEALs is like the organization, and they have
That
a
could
couple
be.
of squads,
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
and the Bay Area Force is like
Yeah.
one of their squads
Yeah.
that they send. So it could be Bay Area Force brought to you by SEALs Baseball.
It
that
could be
kind of
something
thing.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you call them like the pups then, or?
Yeah, I would hope so. Listen, all I know is I had a bunch
I mean-
of like aquatic puns.
Shouldn't
It
they
was
be? I know.
It was the
totally.
tumble of the
Totally.
tide pool.
Yeah.
It was supposed
Yeah,
to be the
right.
rumble on the reef.
That's right. It was an all marine series.
All I've got now is weak force, strong force,
No,
and
no,
y'all
I
did
already
that last
used that
night.
one.
You already used that one, and you know, like they use the force Star Wars, but they're the away team.
Anyway, team.
I
Yeah.
don't want them to use the
The force is not with them.
Yeah. Make a couple dark side comments, I suppose, but
Yeah. Yeah. I prefer seals.
I prefer SEALs too.
I like old-fashioned, gentle baseball names. You know, the Cubs.
Yeah.
Or bird names. You know, the Orioles.
I like the bird names.
You know, the Blue Jays. So Adam Enyart in to pitch for the Crabs here in the top of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Force. It'll be Avila, Fabian, and Bolden scheduled to bat, with the Crabs leading 9-2. 9 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Crabs. 2 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors for the Force. Crabs are being out hit 7-5, and they're leading 9-2, which tells you something.
Circle
Yeah.
that square.
Here's the pitch. Fastball low and outside from Enyart, 1-0. 91 miles an hour pitch. Throws hard, and when he's on, he is really unhittable. See how he does tonight. The 1-0. Misses outside, 2-0.
Liam and Benjamin just rooting against flashbacks to Medford here.
2-0. It's big. Swing and a miss.
That's a
Flew
strike.
right by him. 2-1.
Talked about it all game. Prune Packers in town on Friday. Don't want to miss it. 7 p.m. Be here.
2-1. Fastball is high, 3-1. Three-one pitch. Inside, and he walks him.
Uh-oh.
Lead-off walk for Avila. And here's Fabian.
You said it couldn't end up 8-9 by the time this
Well,
was over. Is that what
that's
you said?
the worry. Is that like I said, Enyart has been a little wild lately, and like he did struggle in that last game in Medford with his control. So leadoff walk. Here's Fabian. He's 0 for 1, and that one's hit foul past the Crabs dugout.
Crabs went to Healdsburg June 17, 18, and 19. They lost 6-11, won 6-3, lost 5-10. So keeping the game a low-scoring game seems to be the goal.
The 0-1 hit down the right field line, just
Ooh,
foul.
boy, that
over
was
first
almost
base
trouble.
bag. Yeah, that was almost trouble.
Looked like it was going
Although
to
9-2, it's hard to.
Right. Listen.
Still though, it was almost a hit. So 0-2 to Fabian. And Enyart definitely is one of the harder throwers the Crabs have. He's up in the low 90s. So when
Yeah.
he's on, he's really good.
One of the best hitters, too. He's batting .361
Oh,
right
he's
now.
definitely one of our-
6 home runs.
Yeah, he's definitely one of our best hitters. The 0-2 tapped past the mound. That's going to be trouble. Bare hand. Nicely done by Perazo to get the out at first. On the play, Avila goes to second, but that was a fine play by Michael Perazo.
Enyart made a running stab at it off the pitcher's mound.
He had
Wasn't
no
able to
chance.
corral it. Perazo came up and barehanded it and rifles it to first base for the out. Great play from the shortstop. Backing up his pitcher there.
So here's Bolden. I think this is Bolden, right? Number 10.
I have Bolden as number 6, so this is a
Okay,
pinch
this
hitter.
must be a pinch hitter then.
That's why we're
And he takes a
suspicious.
pitch high. So this is Caven Kroom. He played last night's game. This is Kroom.
Enyart's got a 9.0 ERA. He's pitched 6 innings.
Swung on and missed.
5
1-1.
strikeouts, 9 walks, 7 runs, 6 of them earned.
Yeah, the walks really hurt him.
Yeah, the walks are doing the damage there. Only 5 hits.
1-1 to count. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-1.
Guess those were his conference numbers there. Let's see what changes if we make it everything. So on the season, Enyart is 5.51. That's his ERA. And on the season, 23 strikeouts and 14 walks.
The 2-1 is in the dirt. 3-1.
So conference play eating him up a little bit.
Three and one now to Kroom.
Let's get this out.
Avila out at second. He's going. The 3-1 is low. The throw to third, not in time.
Boy. He had plenty of time to make that
Oh, he had a
throw.
huge jump.
He just...
So another walk, and this is exactly what has been plaguing Enyart is the walks. I think he walked 3 or 4 in a row to start the 9th in Medford.
That would be agonizing.
So here's Avila.
Another one of the situations where they're up big. You're not super worried about it. It just takes forever.
Yeah, I see a fastball way outside. And in the dirt, 1-0. It's 9-2. All he's got to do is throw the ball over the plate and let the defense do their job.
Got a double play opportunity.
The 1-0. There's a strike at the knees. Good pitch.
That was
1-1.
a great pitch, yeah. Just got to throw those strikes. Come right at him.
That was right at the base of the strike zone. Runner on first goes. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. The throw down the second. Got him.
Toasted him.
Nice job by Forsythe. To nail Kroom trying to steal second.
That was a really good throw by Liam Forsythe.
And
to
now
stay
it
in
turns
Frosty.
out that the Force are down to their last out. And I thought the count was 1-2, but
I thought so too.
so I think they're down to their last strike as well. But the scoreboard says 2-1, so I could be wrong. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed, and I guess it's 2-2 now. So I was wrong. So now they're down to their last strike with runner at third, and the fans pound the seats. 2-2. Enyart sets, deals, swung on and missed, got him. And Adam Enyart comes in and closes it out in the 9th inning for the Crabs as they win at 9-2. 9 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, 2 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors. Crabs benefited from some miscues on the part of the Force in this game, scoring most of their runs in the 4th inning on a couple of errors. But overall, a typical Crabs game. They're behind early, came back and ended up winning pretty handily.
Crabs moved to 32-5 on the season as they await the vaunted Healdsburg Prune Packers coming into town this weekend. And this is the kind of baseball you want to see them play with a big team coming in.
That's
the pitching was good. The offense showed up when it needed to. If they can keep that up, should be nothing but exciting ball this weekend.
Huge games this weekend. You're going to want to be here. Till then, Benjamin Schaefer, Aaron Donaldson, thanks for listening. It's been a pleasure. This is Crabs Baseball, 107.3 FM.
Go Crabs, go.